this afternoon as we bring you the match between Newcastle and Tottenham, with the teams almost getting ready to come out of the tunnel. Let's hand over to your match commentator. It's over to JB. It's all yours, my friend.
Thanks very much indeed, Russ, and welcome along to this commentary. I've just seen Anton Deck in the crowd, and Amanda Staveley and her husband are there too, the new owners of Newcastle. Of course, they've bought Mike Ashley's shares in the club and now have full ownership. And I've never seen Newcastle fans for a long time celebrating the fact that the flags, black and white flags, waving. I can see a lot of Newcastle landmarks, including the famous Newcastle brown ale symbol and the Tyne Bridge and everything else. There's Amanda Staveley there, leading the clapping there, and all the new owners at the club. And there's Anton Deck. I'm just seeing on the bottom left of the screen. Of course, they'll be going down to Wales next month, of course, to do another series of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. But it was a case of when Mike Ashley was a club, we're a football club, get us out of here. Anyway, Newcastle out second because Tottenham in their purple shirts, all purple kit, will come out. They've got black tracksuit tops on as well. They come out first, but listen to the roar from 50,000 Geordies. And of course, this is Steve Bruce's 1,000th game as manager of Newcastle United, as Jamal Lascelles lead the side out. And what an atmosphere it is now at St James's for this live match here on the TC Hub. Even Anton Decker reported. And of course, Steve Bruce, of course, managing for the 1,000th time. There was a lot of speculation about his future, of course, but it's a 1,000-game managerial career that's taken him over 20 years, and footing both counts in Sheffield, Birmingham, and of course up in the northeast. And I can tell you where he's managed in chronological order: Sheffield United, Huddersfield Town, Wigan twice, Crystal Palace, Birmingham City, where he won promotion, Sunderland, Hull City, where he got to the cup final in 2014, Aston Villa, Sheffield Wednesday, and currently now Newcastle United. However long that is for, we don't know. But one thing is for certain, he's in charge today, and he should have been fielding questions about his 1,000 game. Instead of which he had to field questions about his future and the new ownership and everything else, and where he should have been really talking about the 1,000th game. There he is, Steve Bruce, shaking hands with his opposite number, who's eased himself a little bit of pressure. Espirito Santo. They were on a bad run, including a Derby Day defeat to Arsenal a few weeks ago, but wrestled the slide with a 2-1 win before the international break against Aston Villa. Right, let's look at the two lineups before we start the match. Let's start with Newcastle United. Cardolo is in goal. Then it's a back four with Kieran Clark, Jamal Lascelles, the captain, Javier Manquillo and Matt Ritchie. Then it's 5 in midfield with Joe Linton, number 7, Joe Linton, number 10, Alan St. Maximin, 14 is Isaac Aiden, 28, Joe Willett, the former Arsenal player, and 36, one of the Longstaff brothers, Sean Longstaff. Callum Wilson will lead the line on his own up front. For Tottenham, Hugo Lloris, the captain, in goal. Back four of Sergio Reguilon, Christian Romero, Eric Dyer, and Emerson Royal. And then in the midfield, we've got Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, Son Heung-min, Tanguy and Ndombele, Lucas Moura, Oliver Skipp, the young 21-year-old, and Harry Kane, who's been really out of form in recent weeks. Certainly was when England played the other day. He's the man up front. There's Newcastle now in their famous black and white stripes, backed by an expected 52,000. The Geordie nation really enjoying and really love their football here in the northeast. And they've been calling for this moment. Mike Ashley, 14 years of hell, they'll say, with Mike Ashley, lack of investment, lack of ambition, 3 relegations to the Championship. And now there's talk of big stars coming to Tyneside, Kylian Mbappe, but I think that's all newspaper talk, quite frankly. The referee today comes from Birmingham. That's Andre Mariner. The 2 assistants are Richard West and Scott Ledger. Andy Medley's the 4th official. And Chris Carriner is our VAR ref down at Stockley Park. Tottenham will get us underway with those purple on the old purple strip. And the players, as per usual, will take the knee in the ongoing battle against racism. And of course, they've got that racism campaign for the next 2 weeks with the Premier League, showing racism definitely no mercy at all. And we don't condone any racism on this channel or any of our participating channels. We are an all-inclusive channel on the TCO. And away we go then in one of the big games of the day. It's the penultimate match of the weekend's fixtures. Of course, Arsenal Crystal Palace to come. The return to Arsenal of Patrick Vieira. That comes tomorrow, but it's Tottenham Hotspur in purple shirts. With purple shorts and purple stockings, of course. Newcastle in the black and white shirts, dark shorts, and dark stockings with white trim on top. And it's St. Maximin getting in there strongly, and Joe Linton is in there too. Over on the near side, Joe Linton comes away with the ball, but he's been penalised, I think, by the referee, and it's a free kick to Tottenham on the near side. Already we're seeing a bit of a away win. We've got an away win so far in the Premier League today. Of course, Tottenham, Robert Everton there, losing to West Ham 1-0. Angelo Bonner scoring after 74 minutes, giving West Ham a surprise 3 points at Goodison Park today. And that's Nuss giving Rafa Benitez his first Goodison defeat. As St. Maximin now with the headbang comes forward now. Newcastle buoyed by 52,000 native Geordies who have been starved of real footballing success. You have to go back to 1969 before when they actually won many meaningful silverware. That was the old Intercities Fair Cup, which is now we all know as the Europa League, of course. And Dunbury now for Tottenham inside the Newcastle half, trying to get ball forward towards Son, but well cut out by Jamal Lascelles. The Newcastle captain tries to lay a ball in there towards Joe Willock. Now, a chance here for Joe Linton to come marauding forward for Newcastle. Willock now has possession. St. Maximin is peeled away. Wilson waits in the centre. Cross comes in there. Wilson's header is a goal for Newcastle. Within 2 minutes, it's Callum Wilson, the known striker who's hit the front. And I've not seen St. James's Park roar like this for many a long year. What a dream start to the Staveley era at Newcastle. Callum Wilson. What a moment for him. And what a moment for Steve Bruce. Newcastle starved of victory this season. They haven't won a single game yet. In the bottom three at the start, but they've made the perfect start. It was all started on the left-hand side with St. Maximin. Ball played in then, and then Willock played a lovely ball out to the left-hand side. A lovely run there by Manquillo, and the cross came in. It was a brilliantly weighted ball. St. Maximin there on the far side. Then the cross came in, and what a super header from 6 yards. Here is Manquillo's cross, and what a good header from Callum Wilson. And watch Anton Deck and Amanda Staveley there. Anton Deck are absolutely loving it. 1-0 to Newcastle, 3 minutes gone. Oh, they love their football in the North East. And I tell you what, it's going to be a difficult afternoon, I fear, for Tottenham Hotspur now. Callum Wilson on 2 minutes. Free kick. And Wilson has been penalised. But what a dream start for Newcastle. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Well, I've got to warn Newcastle fans at this stage, don't get ahead of yourselves. We've seen Tottenham before come back from the dead in games, and they do have the wherewithal to get results. Of course, they beat Manchester City earlier on in the season. And this is not good news for Burnley or Norwich, by the way, that goal, because that's now as things stand, puts Burnley and Norwich a little bit adrift at the bottom of the table. If it was to stay the same, the gap would be then 4 points between getting out the bottom three, and when Southampton to come for the Clarets next up, and then Norwich playing at Chelsea, it doesn't get any easier. But you've got to say, dream start for Newcastle, and to be fair, it was some good football there, and really, that was great football played in the tradition of Newcastle United, especially going back to the Keegan era when they used to play very attractive football along the deck. And what a dream start, though, you've got to say, to Steve Bruce's 1,000th game as a manager, and he couldn't have wished for a better start. Now they've got to build on that and try and extend it. And that's a poor kick out by Luis, and John Linton stolen in there, but Back came Emerson Royal, but he's lost it as well. And Newcastle starting with purpose. Here's Ritchie. Ritchie with a cross into the penalty area. And Wilson coming in there again. And Lloris this time taking it inside his 6-yard box. This is a magnificent start from Newcastle United. It really is. And here come Tottenham now coming forward. Moura trying to flick the ball on just inside the centre circle. Well, I don't think we could have envisaged the script. If you would have wrote a script, you'd have been a genius. Well, the win probability, even at this early stage, shows Newcastle with a 47% chance, 27% for the draw, and Tottenham with a 26% win chance. But it's early days yet. We've only had about 5 minutes on the TC Hub, in association with our broadcast partner, with our streaming partners. As we'll just break off for a second because Joe Linton's running like the clappers towards the edge of the area, pulls the ball back, and it goes straight to a Tottenham player. And, well, the leg goes out of the bloom that time for Newcastle. Well, of course, we're streaming, of course, not just on the TC Hub, but on these following channels. We're on JB Sports, JDAC Football, Storm FM, and TC Hub 2. We're also live on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch. And if you've just joined us late, where have you been? Where have you been? What a game to settle down, put the central heating on, have a cup of tea, and have your meat and 2 veg. Have your Sunday roast and 2 veg with, and a bit of Yorkshire pud as well to go with it. And a bit of Tottenham against Newcastle. No better way to spend a Sunday afternoon than with us on the TC Hub. Here's St Maximin now for Newcastle. Over on the far side. And it goes to Willett, but he loses possession. But then the ball is won back there brilliantly there by Longstaff. Ritchie now picks it over. And once again, Joe Linton now gets in behind. And Ritchie down that left-hand channel. Infield to Joe Linton. Chipped in there towards Ritchie. Tried to stay onside and then miscontrolled the ball. And it goes behind for a goal kick. But Newcastle are really playing to good attacking principles here today. And you've got to say, and I say this begrudgingly as a Burnley fan, I think you've got to say they have deserved their early domination and deserved their lead. And Amanda Staveley there, the new owner, fist clenched in triumph at the moment. But it's a long way to go. With 7 minutes gone in the first half. But I think what we've got to try and detract at the moment is that's a free kick to Tottenham, by the way. But there can be a danger. I must give warning here to Newcastle fans at this stage that scoring early doesn't guarantee you results. So a long way to go. And Dombley's been fouled. Harry Kane now having a chat with Isaac Hayden there. I don't think there's too many pleasantries being exchanged at the moment, but seen that foul again. It was Hayden right on Dombley, and he took the man quite clearly. The referee, Andre Mariner, just says, "Come on, mate. No more of that, son. Otherwise, you'll be in the book." So 7.25 minutes, 3/4 minutes gone. And it's been a bright start for Newcastle United on a dank afternoon here up in Tyneside. Cold, wet, rainy, but that never puts off the Geordie nation, does it? They come out in their droves, 52,000 every home match, rain, sleet, shine and rain. And they produce excellent football, produce excellent support. And even when the team isn't doing as well as they should, they always produce epic entertainment. That is for sure. They've certainly been the team on everybody's lips. As Newcastle come charging forward, crossing from the left-hand side, a little bit deeper this time, and that's gone out of play for a goal kick. Well, it's been a rip-roaring start. Callum Wilson. Well, if a guy needed a goal, it was Callum Wilson, that is for sure. And his header was it was a typical Callum Wilson header. We've seen him do that so many times in his days at the Vitality Stadium with Bournemouth when they first came up into the Premier League. He is a deadly hot shot from 6 yards. I don't think there's any doubt about that. A guy that's had his injury troubles since he's been at the club here at Newcastle. But certainly has reinvested Steve Bruce faith in him and has done well. Anyway, here's Emerson Royal on the right-hand side for Tottenham. Looking to compile their first attack. 1 goal down, here they are. Royal with the cross. Goalkeeper Darlow watched it all the way and takes it just on the edge of his 6-yard area on the left-hand side and took it well and held on to the ball well. Former Notts Forest goalkeeper In fact, him and Jamal Lascelles came through the ranks at the City Ground many moons ago, and came through as two of the greatest, the best, two of the good products at the City Ground for many a long year. But here's Lucas Moura running towards the edge of the area. Good tackle there by Joe Linton, and here come Newcastle again, and it's that bandit. It's the headband of Alan St Maximin, the unmistakable figure of Alan St Maximin, into Wellock. Wellock now out to the far side. This is brilliant football from Newcastle. They're playing lovely football here. Wellock now towards the penalty area. It's a rip-roaring start to the game. I always get games where I get rip-roaring starts. It must be something when I'm doing a commentary. The game must be always a good one. 10 minutes gone. Certainly Premier League football. We had a real dull game with England on Wednesday night, you may remember. I was quite glad that we were doing updates of the other game involving Scotland, because I don't think I would have had too much to say at that point anyway. But in certain aspects of that second half, it was a really boring second half with England. They limped to a 1-1 draw with Hungary. But, and of course, I was at Villa Park yesterday. We'll have commentary of that one. The late commentary of that one on the TC Hub tomorrow afternoon, and hopefully, if Mike, hopefully we'll have Arsenal, Crystal Palace tomorrow. Hopefully, I say that because there's a fair chance that could happen. It could not happen. Well, keep your eyes on our Twitter feed for any updates on that one. And of course, we have our Twitter handle at Commentary Live 1. And we have a Facebook page at www.facebook.com/The Commentary Hub as well. Plus, folks, our streaming app. We haven't mentioned him yet. It's been 11 and a half minutes. I do apologise, Melon. The Melon streaming app. Check out their website if you can, at half-time and at full-time preferably, at www.melonstreamingapp.com. Ball knocked forward again by Newcastle, but that should be out of play. And Lloris should watch that out, although it goes into his areas, so he can, in theory, pick that ball up anyway. But Newcastle at the moment producing some lovely football at the moment, and it takes me back to an era really when Kevin Keegan used to play this sort of football, and Sir Bobby Robson, the late great Sir Bobby Robson, I should say, a man that was idolised in these parts. And of course, a Tyneside lad through and through, Bobby Robson. Of course, Sean Langstaff playing in there, a Tyneside lad, a local hero. They were playing the local hero song by Mark Knopfler before the start. That always gets the crowd built up. Anyway, here comes Spurs looking to come forward again. And Dombley hits the shot, deflects away. Then the shot comes back in from about 35 yards from Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, I should say. Right-footed effort, which was in the end tamely hit. Cardallo saw it all the way and got everything behind the shot. Just had to go to his right a little bit as he looked at it. High foot there, penalised against 29 Oliver Skip. Free kick to Newcastle, deep inside Tottenham territory. There's Anton Deck again. I think I mentioned their names about 4 times already, and the commentary's not 16 minutes old. 13 minutes gone in the game, but we had a 3-minute spell before the start where we had to give out the team names, and I think I mentioned Anton Deck about 5 times already in 16 minutes of commentary. That is a little bit of an embarrassing. A little bit embarrassing, really, when you're mentioning show business stars, but they're big Newcastle fans. So too is Jimmy Nail, of course, of our Vidas and Pet fame as well. Anyway, free kick. Richie now goes short. Back it goes there to Clark, who gets the ball in, but it's too far forward, and it can't be kept in there. And a goal kick it is for Tottenham Hotspur, who trail Newcastle United by a goal to nil. In fact, Kieran Clark was the man actually coming forward on the end of that ball. But a real stirring start to a game that's certainly not disappointed in terms of epic entertainment at the moment. Spurs are starting to come into it a little bit more. I've had 1 or 2 attacks, but find themselves a goal down, remember. Here's Regulin now far side. Now the ball played back to Højbjerg. Just over the halfway line he is. And Spurs again having to go back to front. Eric Dyer in possession now. And Romero is nearest to him, and they're back in their own half here, Spurs. And Newcastle not allowing them to play between the lines and getting behind them at the moment. And Steve Bruce's side really making it hard at the moment. But wait a moment. Here's a chance now for Ndombele. All this space here for Moura on the right-hand side. He gets to the byline. Can he measure a good cross? It's too deep. Way too deep. But it's out of play for a Newcastle throw in line with their own 18-yard box on the far side there. And another chance really wasted for Tottenham here. They had two in the middle. One was Harry Kane. And really, it was a poor cross from Lucas Moura. And in fact, I would go as far as to say it was feeble. Quarter of an hour gone. Newcastle leading by a goal to nil. And you've got to say, and as a claret, I have to say this with gritted teeth, because Newcastle are a relegation rival of Burnley's. But for gritted teeth, they are deserving of their one goal of lead. And here is St Maximin with the distinctive headband, the unmistakable headband, looking to get Joe Linton through. How he could do with a goal at the moment. But he can't be found. Højbjerg in possession. Son Heung-min takes it out on the left-hand side for Tottenham inside the Newcastle half. And Ndombele now turns, goes down. Referee Andre Marina says, get up, play on. And Ndombele gets up, just does that, and picks up the loose pass. And that's not gone down too well with the Tyneside public at the moment. Newcastle leading by a goal to nil with 16 minutes gone on the TC Hub and JB Sports. JDAP Football, Storm FM, and Commentary Hub 2. We're also live on Periscope, Twitter and Twitch. And it's Newcastle leading by a goal to nil, as I say. Eric Dyer, the England outcast at the moment. Newcastle have had 38% possession so far. Tottenham 62%. But Newcastle have done far more with their 38% than what Tottenham have done with their 62%. And that's why I have to say, Newcastle are worthy of their one goal advantage. But Spurs, you can never write Tottenham off. They struggled a bit against Aston Villa, labelled a bit, but they got a win. They got it at home. When we last saw Tottenham on the TCL, they were absolutely murdered 3-1 by Arsenal. But here they come now looking for an equaliser. They've got one. And Ndombele with the right foot. They're back in it. It's 1-1. Now there's a bit of silence around St James's Park, apart from 2,800 Tottenham supporters up in the gods at the Leazes end away to my left-hand side. It's 1-1 at St James's Park, and it's been a rip-roaring 17 minutes of football here. Son getting it out on the far side, playing the ball back, and Ndombele there just inside the area, and his shot right-footed was just far too good for Cardolo, who couldn't move, and the ball nestling beautifully into the left-hand corner. No goalkeeper in the world would have stopped that shot. And Tanguy Ndombele has equalised to make it 1-1. And that, well, I'm just seeing a grimace there on Steve Bruce's face there. I think that just says it all, really. But it's a cracking goal, and Spurs are back in it. They've responded very well. I did say, folks, that Newcastle scoring early could be a danger, and it's proved that way. And, well, now, what have Newcastle got in response? Cracking match, this one, isn't it? Here's Joe Linton now on the left-hand side for Newcastle. You can hardly pause for a breath in this match. Here's Matt Ritchie. Has he just kept it in? No, he hasn't. The linesman on that near side said he didn't. So a throw-in it is for Tottenham. There's their supporters. They're cock-a-hoop now. It's their turn to be cock-a-hoop. More 2,000 of them up there in the gods, the Leazes end. And it's quite a way up, I can tell you. Here's Emerson Royal with a throw-in level with his own 18-yard box. And the ball out of play again. It will be another Tottenham throw. Newcastle third from bottom at the start of play. And, well, they had the boost of an early goal, but a little bit of a reality check. And Amanda Staveley has come out post-pre-match and said that, as we just break off for a second, because Joe Linton is working an oracle right in that corner, and I think he's won his side a corner, I think. If he has, that's good play, because that just shows never to give up on lost causes when as far as football is concerned. And he certainly didn't give up there, Joe Linton. That was good forward play there by the Newcastle man. So a corner kick to Newcastle. Richie is going to take it. Wilson is up. Lascelles is up. Here comes the corner. And in the goal, the heads and over the top. And it was the skipper, Jamal Lascelles, with the header. He got up above a couple of static Tottenham defenders and headed it over. It was a good header, but just didn't have the accuracy to get it underneath the crossbar. Couldn't keep the header down. But a genuine chance there for Newcastle with 20 minutes almost gone here at St James's Park on the TC Hub. And the win probability now has got Tottenham in with a 44% win chance, Newcastle with 25% and 31% the draw. And Spurs coming forward again. They're having a good little spell at the moment. Here's Moura now, back to Skip. Skip again, back to Højbjerg. Back to Oliver Skip, looking for Kane with the cross. Comes into Son on the edge of the area. Loses possession, Son Heung-min. Newcastle now have possession. Wilson trying to win a throw in. And I think he's done so. Hard worker, Callum Wilson. That's what you always guarantee with Callum. He's a very hard grafter, hard worker, but it's a Newcastle throw-in, actually. Graham Jones there, the assistant. There was a lot of talk with Bruce was sacked before this game. He'd be taking caretaker role, but he's not in charge. Steve Bruce has got his 1,000th game. It started swimmingly for Steve Bruce, but it's gone a little bit sour since. We're coming up to 21 minutes gone. In fact, we're past that mark now. One apiece as Højbjerg comes forward. And Dumbly now can't find Son. And Newcastle clear to the halfway. Alternate commentary of this Premier League encounter. The penultimate Premier League game of the weekend. And here comes Harry Kane. And what a nice little lob that is. And I think it's got in. It had got in, but I think the flag had actually got up. And there's a few nice... and quite a number of cheers from the Newcastle contingent. It was a clever finish from Harry Kane. But the flag had actually gone up. Let's see if he was offside. Ooh, it was tight, but I think the right call. It was the right call there. Nice little lob, though. In fact, VAR are checking just to make sure that this is offside. I thought it was off. But VAR are just checking here. VAR are checking. They just want to make sure that this... Well, he's onside. It looks like it's going to be counted. I think the goal's been given, has it? Well, VAR said offside. Has the goal stood? I wonder. I'm not quite sure. And it has been given. Goal given. Tottenham in front. Oh, that's not going to go down too well here on Tyneside. That was a very tight call, but Spurs are in front. Spurs are in front, and it's Harry Kane. Oh, my Gideon. That was heart-stopping. I thought he was offside from first glance. Now, I'm just seeing it again. Maybe Richie was playing him on closer inspection. It's a lovely little lob into the net. And Tottenham Hotspur, from 1-0 down, winning 23 minutes of the game, are 2-1 up. And, well, maybe the man on the far side was playing him on, actually. Might have been Manquillo, in fact, that's playing him on. Not Matt Ritchie, as I originally thought on closer inspection. It was Manquillo. I was watching the wrong player entirely there, but it's a goal for Tottenham. And I think, actually, on closer inspection, that's actually a very good decision from Andy Madley at Stockley Park. So, Newcastle trailing 2-1 here. In Steve Bruce's 1,000th game, St Maximin now with the cross. Can Newcastle fight back and get a second equaliser? The cross came in. It wasn't a good one, in fairness. Well, we're halfway through the first half. And I have to say, it's been a topsy-turvy start. As Jimmy Greaves, our next Tottenham legend, once said, the great Jimmy Greaves, the Tottenham legend, once used to say, it's a funny old game. It's in a funny old 24 minutes, that's for sure. Newcastle led, now Tottenham level through Ndombele, and then we've had a VAR check. It's a very close decision, but I think you've got to give the VAR referee a little bit of the benefit there. Well, Newcastle fans may well say a bit different after the event. Here's Joe Linton. He goes down, nothing doing. And Willock now, an Arsenal man of his own esteem. And Ndombele's gone down again. durably holding his face. Now, I wonder where the... He's definitely holding his face. I wonder if it's a facial injury here. Mr. Mariner with a lot of sorting out to do here a little bit here. So we'll see what happened. Well, there was a bit of a wrestling match there with Kane. And in fact, it was two Tottenham players colliding with each other. Number 27, Moura, collided into Ndombele and caught him in the face. So it was purely an accidental. It was nothing against any Newcastle player. And because it's a facial injury, Andre Mariner, by the laws of the game, has got to stop it. Well, this is the Kane goal again. It's Højbjerg that plays a lovely chip forward in. And from first glance, I thought this was offside. But when you look at it, again, if we see the 18-yard camera angle again, just seeing the chip there, that's from the reverse angle I'm seeing it from. It's a good finish. And, well, it must have been a heartbeat there, that VAR decision. I thought he wasn't. My initial reaction was he was offside. But then when you look at it a second or third time on that 18-yard angle, you see quite clear that Manquillo is playing him onside. 26 minutes gone, and what started as cheers and applause for Amanda Staveley and her family is now turned to glum faces. Steve Bruce and Steve Agnew try and plot a way back into this game. It's going to be a drop ball. And I think the drop ball will be in Newcastle's favour. Longstaff will play the ball back, and Newcastle will start from halfway the game properly. And now can they find a way through with the unmistakable headband and figure of Alan St. Maximin. Has to go backwards to come forwards again. Jamal Lascelles, who came close with a header. Kieran Clark, back to Jamal Lascelles again. Newcastle 1, Tottenham 2 is the scoreline here on the TC Hub. Hope you're enjoying our coverage this afternoon, along with your roast beef, Yorkshire pudding, 2 veg, and a bit of gravy, and maybe a little bit of rice pudding or trifle for afters. Who knows? Free kick to Tottenham. Foul there by Joe Linton. Not sure who it was. I think it was Emerson Royal that has gone down. Yep, it was Emerson Royal. Ndombele playing the ball back. Yeah, Joe Linton just going through the back of Royal. You can't do that in a modern game. Free kick quite rightly given by Mr. Mariner to Tottenham. Sunday afternoon commentary from the Premier League at St James's Park. Alternate commentary for a Sunday afternoon. Live all the way through. We'll be with you until about 6:45 this evening here on the TC Hub and all the other platforms. JB Sports, JDAT Football, Storm FM, and of course TC Hub 2, Russ's own channel. Russ Burden in the hot seat, and myself, JB Johnston, in the commentary box. Spurs have got a corner which Sung Yeon Min is going to take from the far side. Now, what Newcastle don't or can ill afford to do now is concede a third, because they'll be right up against it. And Spurs, since the Newcastle goal, have really grown in absolute confidence. And Kane back amongst the goals today. Sung Yeon Min with a corner then from the far side. In it goes towards the near. Oh! Kane was there again. And so too was Eric Dyer, who's appealing for something inside the penalty area. It will be checked. Was there a potential handball? There's half appeals there for Spurs, but I don't think VAR's going to check it. And a goal kick it is. That's quite rightly now being given. Newcastle have got some work to do now to get out this hole they're in. They made a flying start, but they've really been put in their place. And no foul there on Moura. Joe Linton in possession for Newcastle. Just not breaking for them at the moment. And the frustration now, and there'll be calls for Steve Bruce out at this moment in time. There's still a long way to go. 28 minutes, 29 minutes gone. It's hardly the time or the place at the moment for Steve Bruce in his 1,000th game to start getting the boost just yet. Long, long way to go yet. There's been a lot of positives to take so far from the Newcastle performance, especially the first 15 minutes where they were all over Tottenham like flies. But really after that, Tottenham have taken over and have got themselves in front. There will be a possible debate, maybe from Steve Bruce afterwards, whether if Newcastle don't win, whether that goal was offside or not, but it matters not. But Newcastle are on the attack now, trying to break away, but Spurs get enough numbers back. Can St. Maximin and Co now find a way back into this. They've lost possession again on that far side. And here's Son Heung-min up towards halfway. Looks for Harry Kane, who has to go backwards. And Eric Dyer now coming forward. Højbjerg over the far side. And Harry Kane now just dropping a bit deeper on the left-hand side at the moment. In towards Ndombele, who got the equaliser. Plays a through ball, which is well cut out. So we've had half an hour gone on the TC Hub, and it's Newcastle 1, Tottenham Hotspur 2. And here goes a chance here for Callum Wilson. He's inside the area. He's isolated against 3 Spurs defenders. Plays the ball across, and oh, what a chance for Newcastle. It was the headbanded St. Maximin, the unmistakable figure who came sliding in there. And we almost had a 4th goal in this match. It was almost 2-2. It stays 2-1 to Tottenham. But Callum Wilson working the oracle, getting the ball across, isolated by 3 Spurs defenders, through the defender's legs, Emerson Royal, and he was half an inch away, St. Maximin, from getting some positive touch there. Anton Deck thought it was in. So too did Amanda Stavely. Still remains 2-2. 2-1, sorry. It's been a cracking game. Meanwhile, we've got an injury for Joe Linton down there. He's been bandaged up. It's I think it's on his right. On his right. I can't think. Right arm. So. So Spurs leading 2-1. There's a breaking play. Just to let you know of upcoming football that we definitely have for you on the commentary hub. Next weekend, Nicholas Jones will be your man in the box next Saturday evening at 5 o'clock when he brings you live alternate commentary of the England-Northern Ireland game from Wembley Stadium. There's England women who have made a fantastic start to their qualification campaign for next year's European Championships, and they're really on course at the moment for that to get into those next year's European Championships. And we'll have full commentary with that with Nicholas Jones next weekend, and you'll hear that on all platforms, all participating TC Hub platforms as well. And wrist, that was it, right wrist. I couldn't think of my body parts then. Russ, my producer, as well as presenter today, just corrected me there off camera. He's in my headphones constantly, his old Russ, all the time. I'm getting used to producers now in my ears. Anyway, here's St. Maximin, the unmistakable bandage, and work is there also on the far side. And Spurs have won a free kick. And Iwis takes it quickly, and in fact too quickly for referee Marina's liking. And off we go once again. Well, plenty for Russ Vernon to talk about at half-time then. 3 goals, bit of VAR controversy, a bit of VAR debate. Was he offside or onside? Well, I thought he was just on, looking at it again. Yellow card's been awarded. And it's Longstaff who's been fouled. And I think he's saying there, the referee, that's two of them you've made. You're in the book, son. So Sean Longstaff, one of the Longstaff brothers, the other one out at the moment. Local lad. Wears his Magpie's heart on his sleeve. And a free kick it is to Tottenham. The London side who at the moment will be recovering very well, and there was a lot of pressure going into that Villa game on Nuno Santo, considering they'd lost. I'd last commentated on them in the North London derby some 3 weeks ago, and they were by comparison they were poor, lethargic, didn't really come to the party until late on in the second half. By then the damage had been done. And Matty Longstaff, in fact, is playing at Aberdeen in Scotland, I'm told. And Russ is always in my ear, but he knows his stuff, our producer. And because I don't commentate on Newcastle that often, it's very hard to keep up with all the teams. It's usually Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, all the usual suspects. But at the moment, in Amanda Staveley's first match as Newcastle, as co-owner of Newcastle United. Of course, it's the Saudi Arabian consortium that have bought the club. There's been a lot of criticism, of course, about Newcastle, the takeover of Newcastle. Not that it reflects badly on the club, it's the company that's bought it. Apparently, there's the human rights problems and everything else, but Newcastle have tried to address it the best way they can. It's not their fault they've been bought out that way, but you can see what Amanda Staveley and co are trying to do at the club, and I think that's okay. Anyway, here's Willock now for Newcastle, the man they got from Arsenal. Willock's crossed back and it's turned away, but Joe Linton has nicked possession, and Longstaff just losing it there on the edge of the box. And this could be a really good counter-attack here from Tottenham. That's a foul, surely. But has given Spurs advantage, and it's Son Heung-min, and the ball played out to the far side. It's Ndombele, and the shot comes in. It deflects. Kane is on. Skip Rover's on the edge. Kane waits in the centre. Ball was trying to be cut back towards Son Heung-min, and he couldn't be found. And now Alan St. Maximin inside his own half. Skips away from one. Over the halfway line he trots. Ball deflects past Willock and out of play. Bit unfortunate there for Newcastle as we go into the final 10 minutes of the first half. And where's the 36 minutes of this game gone? Just zoomed by. Here's Willock down the left-hand side. Still Joe Willock. Ritchie. Here he is now. Ritchie to the byline. Crosses into the area, but it's too close to goalkeeper Luis, taking that cross from Matt Ritchie down the left-hand side very competently indeed. Newcastle 1, Tottenham 2 on the TC Hub and all the other platforms. Where have you been for 36 minutes, folks, if you've just joined us? Have you been down the Toby Carvery and missed all the action? Well, you've missed a real exciting 36 minutes of football. Newcastle led through Callum Wilson after 2 minutes. Then Spurs hit back some 15, 20 minutes later through Ndombele, and then Harry Kane after 27 minutes with a little chip over Lloris. It was checked on VAR and it was given as onside. It was originally flagged for offside by Scott Ledger on the near, the linesman on the near side, but it went to VAR and Andy Madley spotted that Kane was onside, and he was played onside, it seems to me, by Manquillo. And that's why Tottenham are 2-1 into the lead, having been 1 down. I'd like to see the win probability a bit later. That is for sure. Remember, Melon App is our streaming partner. Check out their website, www.lemon.com. Here's Joe Linton. He goes down, and he can't believe he's got a free kick. I actually thought he went down a little easy. I'll be honest with you. I think he went down a little bit too easy. And now the ball is with Harry Kane. Just dropped off to a much deeper role. He's on halfway. He's got Son out on the left-hand side. Now Kane is making his move into the penalty area. Son Heung-min inside the box. Has to track back, though. And Mora has possession. Back it goes to Højbjerg. And now Skip. Spurs having a good run of possession at the moment. And they're playing really nicely at the moment. And here they come again into the penalty area. And it goes. And it's Ndombele into the area. Gets to the byline. Good skills by Ndombele. And then the ball hooked out of play, and a corner has been given. Not much else Ndombele could have done, and then Newcastle couldn't afford to slide in and bring him down. Otherwise, it would have been perilously close to being a penalty kick. It really has been a half, really, that one has got to be perfectly honest with you. Has been an enjoyable first half. We've absolutely enjoyed it, and the corner came in. Went all the way through to the far side. And the cross comes in once more and it deflects out. Let's just have a look at the replay. As that ball came sliding in there. There was a header there and it came off the bar, in fact. Just trying to work out who it was. It was Lucas Moura with a header. Yep, off the crossbar it was. I actually thought he'd gone straight through there, but hard to tell from our commentary angle we got at St James's. Anyway, Spurs have got him behind down that side, and they've still got possession, and the ball knocked across, and, well, that could have easily been a third one. Newcastle threatening to run riot here at St James's. Harry Kane there running from the right, from the throw-in. He got past the defender, which was Ritchie, and then got past another defender, which was Clark, and in the end, that could have been disaster for Newcastle here with just less than 5.5 minutes to go. Still could be danger for Newcastle as everyone goes forward. Romero's forward, Kane is forward, Mori's in there. So too is Eric Dyer. Son Heung-min will take the corner from the right, but the linesman just stopping him from taking it. There's a little bit of pushing and shoving, and Rigola's having a chat with the referee about something or other. And I wonder what all this is about. Okay, now in a chat now. I wonder what's going on here. And, well, has he given a goal kick? Or something's going... I think something's happening on the far side here. Something's happening on the far side here. The players are heading over towards the far side. Now, I wonder what all this is about. The players stopped. We're 5 minutes away from the break. Steve Bruce looking anxiously on there. And I just wonder what's going on over on the far side. Eric Dyer. And it looks as if we're going to have a physiotherapist on now. On a defibrillator. There's something... I think there's a heart attack happening in the crowd here. This is... this really is... Well, the defibrillator is coming on for somebody in the crowd, I think. And the players have been called over by referee Mariner. And this is real concerning news. I'm going to stay with you here until the whole thing has been sorted out. But I'm going to stay with you here on the TC Hub. But players been halted here because there's been... Now I know how Nicholas Jones felt in the Euros. This is not looking good. There's a Newcastle fan, presumably in the stand opposite myself, that has had a cardiac arrest of some kind, and there's a defib that's gone on over to the far side. And I have to say, the medical staff there. Meanwhile, the players are taking fluid over on the near side, and Steve Bruce and Nuno Santo trying to talk tactics and just make sure that the players are still focused here at this point. And it is a medical emergency, but I saw a defibrillator on, so I'm assuming these are not confirmed reports, but there might have been a medical emergency in the crowd, and it's only speculation, but it must be a cardiac. Someone must have had a cardiac arrest of some kind, because I saw a defibrillator. Now, in my previous career, I worked in the care industry, so I know exactly what a defibrillator looks like. So honestly, there's nothing. Hopefully, the supporter is concerned. First of all, I want to just say, hopefully the supporter who's in trouble is rescued and taken care of. This is not what we want to see, but it is a sad way to be. A man who's gone to watch a football match could end up being in Newcastle Royal Infirmary tonight. And we feel for him at the moment as the players are still on the field. They're still in view. But it's over on the far side of the crowd in the old main stand at St James's. If you're looking at it from the television, you see it's the stand over on the far side to the TV gantry. You've got the Gallagher end away to my right and the Leazes end away to my left. Hopefully, the spectator that's injured is being cared for, is injured, and we don't know what we'll keep you abreast of what's going on here. I'm going to keep broadcasting here because I think it's important that we keep you up to the date with all this, with all that's going on here. In fact, it is Ryan, our new commentator, has said that it is a confirmed cardiac. So Ryan Francis, our new commentator, has been watching the game, and it's a confirmed cardiac arrest in the crowd. It has been confirmed, I'm told. This is not good news. That is for sure. And we hope the person who suffered the unfortunate cardiac arrest will be saved. Hopefully will have his life saved or her life saved, whichever it may be. And we hope they have a speedy recovery and hope they don't die, because this would be an utter tragedy. Well, the clock says 44 minutes, 23 seconds. But really, the game can't really continue. There will be, if the game does continue, there will be a massive amount of stoppage time here at St James's. But this is not good news, I'm afraid. If you're joining in here, the play's been stopped for something like 3 minutes because we've had a supporter that's suffered a cardiac arrest in the crowd over on the far side. The players obviously need to try and warm up just in case they need it back on. Andre Mariner, the referee, has handled it impeccably, by the way. I've got to tell you, the players are going out onto the field. Not very good scenes, I'm afraid, on that far side. And but we'll try and keep you updated if we can of news of the person concerned. Players are making their way out back onto the field. But if they are restarting, it's going to be with a huge amount of stoppage time. We played on the television cut. They've played over 45 minutes, but I can tell you that the game has stopped for some 4 minutes now. And Russ is telling me 7 added minutes are going to be added on. And the referee just checking with the stewards on the far side what the situation is. I can't read what the woman is saying to Mr. Mariner, but what I will say is we hope the person concerned is going to be okay. A policeman has now come down and trying to explain the situation here. And I think what Mr. Mariner has done, the referee, he's done a sterling job. Now, what's happening here? And now he's pointing somewhere, and it's going to be 7 minutes of stoppage time. Well, we've been told it's 7 minutes of stoppage time. I wonder if he's blown and they're going off the field. Well, and Andre Mariner is explaining something to Callum Wilson here. It looks like they're going off the field. This is really serious, I'm afraid, folks. This is absolutely serious. Looks like the players are coming off. There was 7 minutes of injury time added at the end of the first half. I doubt they'll be playing that now. The players again have gone over to the near side and look like they're going down the tunnel. I wonder if Mr. Mariner's blown for half time here. There's still the casualty being attended to, so the players are making their way off the field. I think that's a sensible decision from Andre Mariner, I have to say, because this is a real life or death situation we've got ourselves here at St James's Park. And, well, I'm sure Steve Bruce's first game, 1,000th game as Newcastle manager, wasn't meant to end that way. I'm not sure whether it's half time or not, but I'm going to stay with you a few moments and just recap what happened before in the first half. It was a terrific start for Newcastle after 2 minutes when the ball was heading into the back of the net by Callum Wilson, and then Spurs within 20 minutes were back level, and then further to that were in front. The players have made their way off, and just before I leave you to go back to Russ, I'll give you more up-to-date news on the casualty in the crowd. I'm not sure if it's half-time or not. I'm going to cross back to Russ in a second, but we've had a hold up for about we had a hold up for some 4 or 5 minutes. Then there was 7 minutes added on, and then having checked with the police and the security staff about the stricken supporter who's suffered a cardiac arrest, we can confirm that the players have made their way off. So with no action to speak of, and I'm presuming it must be half time, but don't quote me on that. But it's 2-1 at the moment to Tottenham. We're going to take a little break and back to Russ Vernon in the studio.
Thank you very much there, JB. And just a bit of news, and I just want to say, echo what one of the TV reporters, Keith Downey, has had to say. He's put fair play to the players from both teams there who were asking for medics on the Newcastle bench to bring a defibrillator on after learning a Newcastle fan was seriously unwell in the East Stand. What I can say, the play has been stopped for now, and from what I could see, from what I was reading and from what I was listening to on the pictures I've got here, it sounded as though the police were saying it to the referee to take the players off the pitch down the tunnel, as it looks as though the fan may have to be carried out of the stand, across the pitch, and out of the stadium that way by an ambulance or the paramedics on course, or I'm not sure if something along those lines. I'm not sure if they may be having to get a air ambulance in to land on the pitch and take them out that way, so I had to get the players off. We'll try and get more confirmation from that as soon as we can. We'll keep you up to date with everything there, and we'll let you know what's happening with that situation. The fan is still, from what I can see, from what I'm reading, is still being attended to in the crowd there. We'll try and get information that we can. Stay with us so we try and get as much information as possible on this situation. The latest tweet from Newcastle was 8 minutes ago, saying players temporarily being stopped due to concern for a supporter in the stands. In Newcastle, someone's replied and said, "Well done to Sergio Reguilon for raising it with the referee. Hope the person involved is okay." Nuno was confused to what was happening. Also, a big congratulations to and respect to Reguilon for getting the referee's attention, and Dyer getting the medical team quickly over to assist the situation. Well, from what I can see here, it is still, the medical emergency is still being attended to at this moment in time. Just want to say, whoever the person is, whether male, female, young or old, is okay. As we're just waiting for any official news on that. We'll bring you any official news as soon as we can. A Tottenham fan of mine, who I know, called Elena, she's tweeted, "In the last few minutes, prayers go out to the fan that is currently struggling," with prayer emojis and a white love heart. That's from a Tottenham supporter. Just a bit of an update here, and if you can hear me, JB, the players will be coming out to resume the first half. The stadium announcer has just confirmed to those inside St James's Park. There's 7 minutes remaining during that first half. Fans around the stadium did applaud. There's no update on the fan just yet from what I'm getting here from a reporter at The Athletic. We just say, like myself and you, JB, that fingers crossed they're okay, but just want to get your thoughts on, obviously, Sergio Reguilon and Eri Dyer, with how quick they responded to the incident once being called over by some fellow fans in the area of the East Stand at St James's Park, JB.
Well, I think that was very. I've just been on Twitter whilst I've been off air, and it's you've got to say big up to them. Well played them two, because they noticed it and alerted the referee within a second's notice of them noticing it. Within about 5 seconds, or within about half a second, they alerted the referee. I didn't really think much of it at the time. Obviously, I'm concentrating on commentating on a game. I thought there was a bit of, when Son was prevented from taking the corner, I thought there was just a bit of pushing and jostling, what you would see in 95% of games that we cover on the TC Hub. But when I see the referee going over to the far side, then I knew full well that something was wrong. And then I saw the defibrillator. Ryan Francis, our colleague, also messaged as well and said that it was an actual cardiac arrest. So it has been confirmed, the reports. It's It's I know how Nicholas felt when he did that game in the European Championships involving Christian Eriksen. It's hard, and the emotions are running a bit high. Hopefully, as I say, as I speak, and I speak for everybody here at the TC Hub, hopefully that the fan concerned will be fine and will be given the best possible medical care, the ambulances and the medical staff, and of course the local infirmary. I'm certain will have it all in hand, but it's really it's not what the new ownership would have wanted, or it's not what Steve Bruce would have wanted. But then again, what happens on the field really today really will pale into insignificance for us when you compare it with this, where fans' life is at stake, really, having suffered this cardiac arrest.
Yes, and like you said, JB, excuse me, like you said there, JB, as well, you now understand where Nicholas was coming from in the Euros, and I'm sure, like at the time that, well, when I was doing the Euros as well, we've presented for Nicholas and you came on, I'm sure there'll be
Yeah,
loads of support out there for you, JB, from the TCU family. Having seen that, obviously, he, like with Nicholas, he wasn't a player, he was a fan this time. But what I do want to say as well, big respects to the TV cameras for not panning in on the fan in the crowd, something which did happen in panned in on
yeah.
Ericsson in the Euros. But big congratulations to to the TV
Absolutely,
cameras
Sky
for
Television, the director at Sky Sports, whoever's directing the match director there, I think he's done a magnificent job because obviously, we had. I mean, let me just the Christian Eriksen thing. The BBC should have cut back to their studio as soon as that accident happened with Eriksen, right? But it was all. But I must admit that was Danish television as well. Direct those pictures in the Euros. I've got to make that absolutely clear. Although the BBC, who were covering the match at the time, should have cut back to Manchester. But having said that, full big credit. They just got shots of the players down on the benches, and Steve Bruce and Nuno Santo tried to take the players' minds off it by talking tactics, talking about the game and things like that. There's still a game to be played, obviously, but the main concern, really, Russ, and above anything else, we just hope that the Newcastle supporter, whoever he or she may be, is going to be okay. And um, whatever happens now with the rest of the game, it now just pales into insignificance, really. You know, I'm sure I'll get tweets and everything else getting my support because it's not a nice thing to want to happen. I was also commentating when I was doing my own channel once when we did the one of the Leicester games. I think it was against West Ham some 3 years ago, uh, and when the Leicester owner died in that helicopter crash soon after I came off the air. That was a hard thing for me to broadcast. So I've got experience, but it's an experience that no commentator, no broadcaster, no supporter, no footballer would ever want to go through in any walk of life. It really isn't. It's not something. It's not very nice, I have to tell you.
Yes, absolutely, JB. And I remember I was on the way home from a Leeds match once when Fabrice Mwamba has done that. I've just received an update here, Justin, as well, and Ryan has mentioned it to you as well, JB. Says, latest update, fan has been moved to pitch side as air ambulance will be landing on the pitch
I've said it.
very, very soon. So
Yeah,
I think, like I said to you when I said, I think there were going to be an air ambulance landing on the pitch. I was right, and it's good that they've managed to get from wherever they were seated, situated in the crowd, down to the pitch. And like a lot of people are tweeting, and I've seen this mentioned quite a few times as well, is what they need to do more of, and I'm sure you'll agree on this, JB,
mm,
whichever job you're currently in, whether it's the media, like what we do here on the commentary hub, or whether the pub where you do your day job, JB, as well, or
absolutely, yes.
whether needs to people in those sort of lines as well need to learn how to do CPR and need to have a defibrillator on hand in case anything like this happens to any one of us or one of our colleagues that we're working with at the time. So they need to be treated with CPR, shown how to do CPR as well. And I just want to give a big shout out to Rotherham United, who yesterday ahead of the match against Portsmouth in League One, a game which Rotherham United won by 4 goals to 1 yesterday afternoon. There was a video on the Rotherham United Twitter feed, if you want to go and check it out, where the staff and some of the players of Rotherham were talking through how to do CPR, and there were medical team on hand before the game for fans to go and learn how to do that at the New York Stadium yesterday. I can see the pictures of the players just emerging back out of the tunnel for the remaining minutes of this game. He's just going through some warm-ups there, or Tottenham before the game do get restarted. Just a few more warm-ups. Hugo Lloris just getting some practicing as well. So it looks as though the game will be starting again fairly shortly, or they'll just be getting a bit of just doing warm-up and now just before they do get back underway very soon. So it'd be good to see the game pan out. We may probably, I would imagine we'll get a shorter half-time break. I'm not 100% sure on that, but we'll do another break at the end of the first half, depending how long they do that for. But we'll confirm to you that once we do. So if the players just going through the last minute warm-ups ready for the second half, JB, I'm going to hand back to you now, ready for the second half coverage. Not second half coverage. Second part of the first half coverage. Last 7 minutes of that first half coverage before I'll probably come back when it is half time in the game. But back over to your match commentator now. He's over to JB.
Thank you once again, Russ. Welcome back, everybody. That was probably one of the most harrowing things I've ever done in 7 years of being a football commentator, either for JB Sports on their own, as a channel outright, or for the commentary hub. It's always a very harrowing thing when you see a player or even a supporter suffer a life-threatening incident like a cardiac arrest, and I knew it was. I half knew anyway. The air ambulance has been and gone. The players have warmed up. We'll now complete the first half. The play was actually suspended, as it turned out, and we'll play the rest of the first half. There will be the 7 minutes. So fourth official Andy Madley will now bring up the 7 minutes. And before the programme out, we restart with the corner, of course, to be taken by Son. And if there's any developments on the supporter involved, we will let you know before the evening's out. If there's any developments on that supporter before we finish our programme around about 7 o'clock this evening, we will let you know. I'm absolutely sure. Right, anyway, let's get back underway with this corner kick. So 45 minutes have gone. We're into 7 added minutes, and Son Heung-min, the score, remember, Newcastle 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. The rest of the first half back underway. 7 added minutes, remember. Here's Son, number 7, with the corner into the penalty area, turned away once more. Remember, just to remind you that Spurs are in the all-purple shirts and Newcastle in the black and white stripes. But any developments on the stricken fan, we'll let you know what happened. But we can tell that they've been airlifted to the local hospital in Newcastle by an air ambulance, which came on the field a few moments ago whilst me and Russ were talking about what actually happened. And fair credit to the supporter, to the 2 players involved for alerting the referee's attention. Right, back to the game. And it goes towards Kane. Kane back to Son. Son on the edge of the area. Can Spurs finish the first half with a flourish? We've had a minute of the 7. Shot comes in from Ndombele. Tanguy Ndombele. I can't pronounce his name now. He's pronouncing it well before the interruption. Anyway, back with the game again, and it's Longstaff and Richie once again. Richie who's made some very good runs down that left-hand side in this first half. Back to St. Maximin, the unmistakable figure with the white headband round his head. And the ball out of play for a throw-in. It's not every day you see that. Now I know exactly how Nicholas Johns feels, how having to do that. Not without trying to bring bad memories back to him. But I just want to say thank you to everybody around at the TC Hub for being there throughout. And if there's any information, we'll get it. There's been an update. He's been stabilised and he's on way to the hospital. He's been stabilised. So positive news if that is the case. Concerning the supporter. That's a message that's just come through from Russ Burton a few moments ago. Here's Reguilon now down the left-hand side for Tottenham. Ball played into the penalty area. And will be anxious looks around the ground. It started also well for Newcastle on 2 minutes when Callum Wilson put Newcastle into the lead. And then came back Tottenham within 15 minutes, level it 1-1, and then Kane scoring from that chip goal, which initially was given offside by Scott Ledger, but then was given on VAR assistance because it turned out that Manquillo was playing Kane onside. So it was a crafty little finish by Kane, who's in behind again. Son is in the middle and he's behind the man, and Son has tapped it in for free. And Tottenham take a firm grip on this game. It's Son Heung-min. Harry Kane stayed onside. The ball was pulled back, so Son wasn't offside. And Son, from 4 yards out, had a practically open goal. And the day is going from bad to worse for Newcastle supporters. It's Newcastle 1, Tottenham Hotspur 3. Son Heung-min with goal number 3 then. And Tottenham with it up. And Newcastle now certainly, as we go past the halfway mark of the 7 minutes, I've got it all to do. He's not offside because the ball is played behind, was being pulled back to him, and he's behind Kane as that ball is played back. So, in theory, he's onside, and that is a very perfectly good goal indeed. So, Lucas Moura involved, Kane through, he was onside, and Son was onside because he was behind Kane as the ball was cut back. So, 3-1 it is. Son Heung-min scoring the third one for Tottenham. And a half that started so well for Newcastle, a dream start for them, is ending with an absolute nightmare. And of course now, and of course one of their supporters has had that sad cardiac arrest, and the news is that he's been stabilised and he's been airlifted to local hospital. And let's hope that he or she recovers from that and doesn't risk any serious injury, any more seriousness there. But let's just hope he's going to be in a stable condition. And I think that is the important thing. Here's Joe Linton now with the Newcastle, who are on the attack from the restart. We've had almost 5 minutes of the 7. We've got a couple more minutes to go after that. Here come Newcastle looking for a way back. St. Maximin shoots. And I wondered if it just took a little nick. I think the referee said goal kick given. We've got 2 minutes of the 7 left to play at the end of the first half. It's Newcastle 1, Tottenham 3 on the TC Hub. JDAT Football, JB Sports, Storm FM and TC Hub 2. John Stottard, JB in the commentary box with Russ Burton hosting and producing back in the studio. Russ in the presenter's chair today. And the scoreboard hasn't changed from 2-1 in the ground. It certainly is 3-1 now. Perfectly good goal. And it remains 3-1. But it's Newcastle now looking to get on the board themselves. And it's Callum Wilson. Wilson into the area. Good skills by him. Into the area it goes. Oh, it was a decent looking cross. And Spurs just had the way with it all. But Newcastle fighting back strongly now in the last couple of seconds. Reacting well to going 3-1 down. Maybe they're playing on adrenaline now. Maybe they just need a little bit more extra half-time break. We've got a minute of the 7 left to play at the end of the first half. Then I will come off there for about 5 or 10 minutes, get myself a nice cup of tea and warm myself up for the second half. Richie in possession for Newcastle. It's been we've been going now in this programme for just over 1 hour and 15 minutes. And of course, we lost a lot of time there. There's a Spurs player gone tumbling, but it's not a head injury. So the referee's, so Willock is playing on. Willock towards the area, gets the crossing, turned away by Emerson Royal. And now Romero. Romero's having one or two words to say. And there's a Spurs player injured. And now there's a little bit of a set to involving St. Maximum and Callum Wilson and Oliver Skip. Luis turning away, just calming down Romero as we now have played the full 7 minutes. A little bit of a set to. Emotions understandably running high after what's happened already this afternoon. And I'm just wondering who the player was stricken. I think it was Emerson Royal. I'm not sure. Let's have a look at it on the replay. Yeah, it was Emerson Royal. Just tripped over Willock. It was purely accidental. And I think Royal, I'm not sure if he made a bit of a meal of that, to be honest with you. It was nothing more than just a little coming together. It was purely accidental. And Newcastle were well within their rights to carry on, by the way, because it wasn't a head injury. Well, we've had everything now, lots of talking points, and of course we'll keep you updated with the situation with the Newcastle fan during the rest of the program until we're off the air for around about 7 o'clock tonight. Royal does look actually quite seriously hurt. He's not play acting by any means. Sometimes the most worst injuries can actually come from more innocuous things, I suppose. So peace and order has been restored between the two camps. We've now played well over the 7 minutes. And Mr. Mariner surely now will let this throw-in be taken. And then then the referee will bolt for half-time. St. Maximum will take the throw-in. And in fact, I think it might just be a little bit of, it's a bit of sportsmanship there at the very last goal kick given. But surely that must be that for the first half. We've played well over 7 minutes now. We've played about 9 minutes over the allotted time here, as the ball is going to be taken. The goal kick is going to be taken by Hugo Lloris, beaten in the second minute, but his side have come back very strongly throughout the first half and lead. Going into the break as the referee, Andre Marina, this time bolts for half time. Well, it's been a first half of real controversy, talking points, and the sad tale of a supporter who sadly has had cardiac arrest. We'll keep him updated there, but the players were off for something like 6 or 7 minutes as the air ambulance was coming into the ground. But it all started so well for Newcastle. Callum Wilson scored on 2 minutes. Then Ndombele scored a terrific goal on 17 minutes. And then Kane lobbing Spurs in front. Goal was initially chalked out for offside, but then it was given on a VAR advice when Manquilla was judged on the far side, as we looked to be playing Harry Kane on. And then we had that stoppage for the sad incident involving the Newcastle fan. We will keep you updated from now until we finish here on this broadcast. And then after the restart, which was 7 minutes of stoppage time, incidentally, and Son Heung-min scored with a close range tap in to make it 3-1. It is half time now, and I'm going to take a short break, and Russ will now keep you updated with everything that's going on, plus maybe possibly the welfare. Any news on the welfare of the supporter that was taken to hospital, we will keep you abreast. But at half time here at St James's Park, what was an eventful first half, it's Newcastle 1, Tottenham Hotspur 3.
Thank you very much there to JB for first half commentary. Obviously, we're a bit delayed due to the serious news of that supporter, and we wish the supporter all the very best going for in a recovery, which after these medical assistance. Newcastle did tweet out the supporter who was in need of urgent medical assistance has been stabilised on their way to the hospital. Our thoughts are with them, and so are our thoughts here at the commentary hub, JB Sports, JDAC Football, Storm FM, and Commentary Hub 2. At half time, then it is Newcastle 1, Tottenham Hotspur 3. Goals coming from Wilson on 2 minutes and Ndombele 17, Kane 22, and Son Heung-min in first half stoppage time. So we are now into a break for a second time this afternoon. First time was due to unforeseen circumstances. In the earlier Premier League match, finished Everton 0, West Ham United 1. Angela Ogbonna with the goal on 74 minutes. In the Championship, finished Swansea City 3, Cardiff City 0, Patterson, Pyro and Bidwell with the goals for the Swans. In La Liga, it finished Real Vallecano 2, Elche 1, Celta Vigo 0, Sevilla 1. And in that game, latest score after 15 minutes, Villarreal 0, Osasuna 0. In the German Bundesliga, it finished Bayer Leverkusen 1, Bayern Munich 5. With that one in Italian Serie A, it finished Cagliari 3, Sampdoria 1, Empoli 1, Atalanta 4, Genoa 2, Sassuolo 2, Udinese 1, Bologna 1. Latest scores Napoli 0, Torino 0 is the latest score. Juventus take on Roma later on in Serie A. In French Ligue 1, it finished Troyes 1, Nice 0, Bordeaux 1, Nantes 1, Brest 1, Reims 1, Metz 0, Rennes 3, should I say, Strasbourg 5, Saint Etienne 1, latest scores Montpellier 1, Lens 0, Marseille 0, Marseille against Lorient, should I say, is a quarter weight kick-off this evening. In the other matches taking place today or took place in the early hours of the morning in the Major League Soccer in the United States of America, finished Houston Dynamo 2, Seattle Sounders 1, Austin 0, Minnesota United 1, Real Salt Lake 3, Colorado Rapids 1, LA Galaxy 2, Portland Timbers 1, while New York Red Bulls take on New York City. That kicks off in 10 minutes time at 6 o'clock this evening. Tomorrow on the commentary, I'm joined Mike Arneman as he brings you commentary on Arsenal against Crystal Palace. Also, we've got Shamrock Rovers against Bohemians at 7:15 in the Irish Premiership, or Irish Premier Division. Alaves take on Real Betis at 6 o'clock, while Espanyol take on Cadiz at 8 o'clock, while Venezia take on Fiorentina at 7:45 tomorrow in Italian Serie A. Also in the early hours of tomorrow morning in the MLS in the United States, Vancouver Whitecaps take on Sporting Kansas City in that match. That is a 3 a.m. kickoff for that one. And on Tuesday, we have got some Champions League action. Man City in action against Club Brugge, Liverpool in action against Atletico Madrid, and also there's action for Paris Saint-Germain against RB Leipzig, Porto against AC Milan, Besiktas Sporting Lisbon, Ajax Borussia Dortmund, Inter Sheriff Tiraspol, and Shakhtar Donetsk against Real Madrid. In the Europa League, Celtic take on Ferencváros, while in the Championship there's just a handful of games. Bristol City against Nottingham Forest, Derby Luton, QPR Blackburn, Sheffield United Millwall, and Stoke against Bournemouth in the Championship. There's some matches in League 2. Just run you through some of the first round draws in the FA Cup first round, which was drawn this lunchtime. Unfortunately, we couldn't bring you the draw live, so I'll just run you through some of those. Bradford City take on Exeter City. Sutton United are away to Dorking Wanderers or Years and Yeading, while Sunderland host Mansfield Town at home. Sheffield Wednesday take on Plymouth Argyle, Dagenham and Redbridge host Salford City. Carlisle United play host to non-league Horsham. Dover Athletic or Yate Town take on Yeovil or Weymouth, so non-league side will be going through to the second round in that tie. There's a Yorkshire derby, or a local derby should I say, as Scunthorpe take on Doncaster in round one. Rotherham United, the local side to me, take on Bromley, National League side Bromley, come to town to the ASL New York Stadium. Portsmouth take on Arrow Borough, Gillingham against Cheltenham, Morecambe Newport, Banbury United take on League Two Barrow, Fleetwood against Burton in All League One clash, AFC Sudbury host League Two Colchester United, so that's a good tie for AFC Sudbury, getting a league tie side at home. Northampton take on Cambridge, Corinthians Casuals or St Albans take on league side Forest Green Rovers at home. Boston United or Stratford Town also face facing Football League side at home in Shrewsbury Town. Pontefract Colliers or Halifax Town, who drew yesterday, take on Maidenhead United of the National League, so 2-0 league side. One of 2-0 league sides going head to head there. Number 2 non-league sides going head to head is Chesterfield against Southend. Chesterfield played Southend not so long ago in the National League and beat them at Roots Hall, which was the last game in charge for Phil Brown. Rochdale take on Tamworth or Notts County, so a non-league side going to a Football League side there. 2 non-league sides going ahead, so in Kidderminster against Grimsby, that is a battle of non-league sides there, so at least a non-league side going through there. Solihull Moors will travel to League One side Wigan Athletic. Ipswich Town take on Oldham. AFC Wimbledon have got the non-league side, winners of Brackley Town and Guiseley, the replay of that, will face them. League 2, Harrogate will take on Marine or Wrexham. Kingsland Town will take on Walsall as well. Charlton take on National League side Torquay or Hamilton Waterlooville, whoever wins that replay. Oxford take on Bristol Rovers. Be interested to hear what our friend Matt House thinks of that one for Bristol Rovers. He's a Bristol Rovers fan. Tranmere take on Crawley Town. Leyton Orient against Ebbsfleet United, so non-league side going to a Football League side there. MK Dons against Stevenage. Interesting to get the thoughts of Mike Orderman on that one. So Mike, if you're listening, do let us know what you think of that one. Lincoln take on Bowers and Pitsea of Essex, a non-league side from Essex. Marks United from the North East or Gateshead will take on Altrincham as well, so another non-league side tie there, whoever gets through. So that's just some pick of the matches. When I mentioned a few of them, but not all of them there. If you want to see what some of them got, just head over to the website where you get all your news from, and you'll be able to find out all that information there. We'll be waiting for second half to come, and we'll hand back to JB in plenty of time for that one. As soon as we see the players emerging after the break, we will hand back over to JB for second half. We'll hopefully try and bring you some Champions League matches in midweek, so stay tuned to that this half throughout the week. If you'd like to stay tuned to that one, be sure to do so. We'll keep you across everything that happens in the Champions League, featuring the English clubs and Europe League and Europe Conference League, to be in fact as well, when they are playing as well. But our next live offering on the channel comes on Monday when Arsenal take on Crystal Palace, where I'll update you on all the other matches taking place that day. As well, we're waiting for the second half of Newcastle against Tottenham to get underway. And once we have any indication of that's going to happen, we'll keep you across. That's we'll hand over straight away to JB. Just awaiting any further news on the supporter at this time being. No update as of yet from what I can see other than they've been stabilised. We'll keep you up to date if we do get anything from that. The players are just making their way back out onto the field of play for the second half, kicking off very, very shortly. So with the second half coming up very, very soon, with the players just going through some last minute warm-ups in just a second. Just right now, we'll hand back over to JP in just a second or so as the players just getting ready to emerge from the tunnel, and are just emerging from the tunnel as well. We'll keep you up to date with the very best we can on the supporter when we do hear anything. No further news as things stand, but like I want to reiterate, like I mentioned during the stoppage we had during that first half, great work by Sergio Reguilon to raise awareness to the referee, and Eric Dyer to raise awareness to the physios of both Newcastle and Tottenham, especially Newcastle, where the defibrillator was taken from, for that fan to be out with the fan at half time. So the players are back out, the officials are back out, the management staff are back out, our man is back out and ready. So it's time for me to hand over to your match commentator for the second half. He's over to JB.
Thank you, Russ. Welcome back, everybody. The player, Steve Bruce, just coming out the tunnel with Steve Agnew and Graham Jones, the coaching staff there. They've had a big halftime team talk now. 3-1 down it is at the halftime, and heavily truncated first half, which saw 4 goals, and then of course we had that stop. We had to have the play stopped, of course, for that fan. If there's any news during the second half, I will bring it to you as soon as we have it. Producer Rush will be rushing around trying to look to find out any developments. As soon as we have any developments, we'll bring you here. For the time we're on air until around 7 o'clock here on all platforms, and keep listening. I've just been tuning in on my own platform, and I've told them keep listening in. We've still got the second half to come. Thank you to Kevin Benson and to Paul James for their comments so far, and I echo their statement. Let's hope the supporter in question is okay. As Newcastle get us underway, they're attacking the Gallowgate end away to my right, and off we go then. And let's hope that Newcastle can really put on a show in this second half and try and get Tottenham back. They started really well in the first half. Remember, took the lead through Callum Wilson on 2 minutes, then Ndombele equalised on 17 minutes. Then Kane, some 4 minutes later, scored with a lovely little lob over Carl Darlow to make it 3-1, to make it 2-1, I should say. And then Son scoring in injury time. Let me recap you the two teams: Darlow, Clark, Lascelles, Manquillo, Ritchie, Longstaff, Joe Linton, St Maximin, Hayden, Work, and Callum Wilson up front. On the bench, Gillespie, Share, Shelby, Lewis, Henrik, Fernandez, Fraser, Murphy, and Gale. For Tottenham, let me just run through that sign. There's a little game of head tennis going on. It's Hugo Lloris in goal for Tottenham. And then it's a back four of Emerson Royal, Romero, Dyer, and Regulin. Then it's Højbjerg and Skipper playing as a two-man anchorman midfield. And then it's Mora and Ndombele and Son who scored two of the goals, and Kane the other one up front. On the bench for Spurs, Golini the goalkeeper, Sanchez Winks, Gill, Lo Celso, Dele Alli, Bergwijn, Tanganga, and Ben Davis. Referee, just to remind you, from Birmingham, Andre Mariner, and the BL ref is Chris Kavanagh. So 3-1 Spurs if you've just joined us. And we've had a real emergency with a supporter. He's been airlifted to hospital. He's in a very stable condition. And any news before we before our broadcast is out, around about 7 o'clock. We will bring it to you live on the TC Hub and all the other participating TC Hub streams, whether it's on JB Sports, JDAT Football, TC Hub 2 or Storm FM. We will bring the news to you as quickly as is possible. Right, anyway, back on with the game as Darlow beaten 3 times, kicks away down the field. Remember, Spurs now attacking the Leeds' end to my left. 2,000 of their supporters who have travelled up from North London today. Well, from the footballing point of view, it's been a trip worthwhile for them. As Darlow gets the ball back from a pass back, and Darlow now will kick right-footed towards the left-hand side of the field. There's a foul there by Joe Linton on Emerson Royal. Free kick to Spurs. And Newcastle just losing their way somewhat. And, I thought that, I'm not so sure. I think that was a bit soft, to be honest with you. Anyway, here's Reguilon now. Oh, that's a lovely skill by Reguilon into the penalty area. Touchback, can't find Son. It was a nice attempt at the back heel, and then Jamal Lascelles had to get back and hook it away. Well, no wonder Reguilon can actually afford to smile at the moment. And the players now have a responsibility in this second half to really put on a good show, all 22 of them. And whichever substitutes do eventually come on during the second half, we will bring you up to date with what's happening, as I say, with the supporter. Let's hope he's in a very good condition once he's in hospital and stabilised, and we'll bring you any news on that later. Anyway, Son with the corner from the left-hand side, flick on inside the area, shot comes in. It was Lucas Moura with the shot. It still might come here for Tottenham. A little bit of a pinball machine scramble, and in the end, and Ndombele, it came off him last, I think. Now let's have a look. It came to Moura, who shot, then it bounced around. It came to Ndombele. He gets the shot in. Now, did it come off a Newcastle player last? It did, actually. So Ndombele, in actual fact, has won a corner, and it's going to be taken on the far side. Second in succession, Son Heung-min will take that corner. Both sides, remember, unchanged from the first half. Son will take it from the far side. 3-1 Tottenham lead with 49 minutes of the game gone. 4 minutes of the second half played. Son, outswinger. And in came the header coming in, and the goalkeeper mispunched it. And Newcastle at 6s and 7s. Darlow kindly was fouled. Well, Romero went in for the first header. Then goalkeeper came out to punch, mispunched it. Could have easily led to a Tottenham fourth there. Romero got the header in, and Kane jumped with the goalkeeper, and goalkeeper got nowhere near it. He felt he was impeded by Harry Kane. I don't think it was a foul, to be honest, perfectly frank with you. But alas, nothing was scored from it. And then Højbjerg inexplicably knocks it out on halfway, right beneath the dugouts. We've had 5 minutes of the second half on all platforms, TCF platforms. The YouTube platforms, which I always mention about 4 times a half. And, of course, we're on Periscope, Twitter and Twitch. 3-1 to Tottenham, if you're keeping score with the football. Here's Ndombele now for Spurs. Left-hand side, he's got Reguilon on the overlap. Ndombele uses him. And Reguilon's cross, it was the first time. It wasn't a very good cross, actually, from Reguilon, and it's netted out for a throw-in for Tottenham. And Reguilon now getting on with it and throwing it back to Højbjerg. Spurs with a 2-goal buffer at the moment. Goals from Ndombele, Kane and Son Heung-min, cancelling out the early goal on 2 minutes scored by Callum Wilson. Could have had another one as well, conceivably. Kieran Clark also Jamal Lascelles rather came very close as well for Newcastle. But here's Moura now. Son is in behind. It's Son Heung-min. Good challenge there. Kieran Clark had to time it right, and he did just that. And the flag is up for offside against Son Heung-min. Free kick to Newcastle. We trailed by 3-1. Ball not forward over the top or through the middle. And in fact, Son was offside. So the challenge from Clark in the end meant precious little in the end. And I wish the laws, the FIFA laws, would have, if a player's offside, stop the play, get on with it, and get the free kick taken quickly. Don't play on for 5 seconds, then put the flag up. I find that absolutely annoying. It's annoying for players, it's annoying for spectators, it's annoying for commentators. and mend the offside law. If he's offside, blow up, give a free kick, get on with the game. I must say that twice a Get Live match I do now. I do find that rule completely and utterly annoying. Anyway, St Maximin now for Newcastle. 3-1 down. They need a little bit of St Maximin magic, I think. And the ball now is with Willock. Willock now to Joe Linton inside the area. Joe Linton's cross back, and it's straight into the arms of Lloris, who dropped it but was under no great pressure and took it at the second time of asking. Newcastle 1, Tottenham 3 is the scoreline at St James's Park. Good running that by Willock after St Maximin had started the move. But it was straight at the goalkeeper at the near post. You wouldn't expect Hugo Lloris, World Cup winner. And that's offside against Kane, but it will go straight through to the goalkeeper, Darlow, and play can continue. But you wouldn't have expected Lloris to get beaten at the near post. World Cup winner and all. Of course, France will defend the World Cup, of course, in just over a year's time in Qatar. And what a match and what a tournament that promises really to be in Qatar, that is for sure. Anyway, it's Newcastle on the attack now with Richie, far touchline, good football again, round the corner, and it was Manquillo. Was it Manquillo? No, it wasn't. It was Aidan Traber who wins the throw. Hard to tell with these red numbers and names on the back of these Newcastle shirts. Makes it very difficult to identify players. This is Hayden, and that's a throw-in again to Newcastle. They're starting to get up the field a bit and make Tottenham sweat a little, but at the moment it's 3-1. Throw in towards Joe Linton. Back to Hayden. Can he get the crossing? Isaac Hayden gets the ball in there, looking for Callum Wilson. Headed away by Dyer. Still, it's buzzing around on the edge of the Tottenham penalty box, and it's nodded away this time. Kane takes it down beautifully away from Kieran Clark, who then wrestles him to the ground, almost WWE style, and now the yellow card is out straight away. And Clark will pick up the yellow card with 9 minutes of the second half gone. It's Newcastle 1, Tottenham 3. Kane does well to bundle him away, and then Clark in retaliation just pulls off the body slam in a way. And also, it was a good rugby tackle as well. Wouldn't have been seen dead at Merrifield or Twickenham or the Cardiff Arms Park. But in football, he gets him a yellow card, and quite rightly so. Kane jumps up with Clark again for a header, which Clark wins, and then now Newcastle have it now. Can they provide something rather spectacular here now? But it's Olivier back to Regulin. Regulin now back to Dyer. Dyer now in possession. Getting into the centre circle and halfway, and it's Sung Yun Min. Good second half here. Still 3-1. Here's Emerson Royal picking up the pieces. Finds Lucas Moura. We've had 10 minutes of the second half here at St James's Park. St James's Park at the start of the afternoon was a carnival atmosphere, was buzzing. Steve Bruce's Falsam game, it's not going according to the script for him today, I'm afraid. 20-year managerial career that's taken him clubs like Sheffield United, Huddersfield, Wigan on two spells, Crystal Palace, Birmingham City, where he won Blues promotion in 2002 on a penalty shootout against one of his former clubs that he played for, Norwich City. Then at Sunderland, after another spell with Wigan, Hull City, where he reached the FA Cup final some 7-8 years ago. Aston Villa, where it wasn't universally liked there because of his Birmingham connections. Sheffield Wednesday, spent a little while then, and obviously he's at Newcastle. How long? Well, that is to be debated. And instead of fielding questions on his upcoming Falsam game in the build-up to this, he was answering questions about his own future, which I don't think was called for really by the journalists. They are a very strange bunch. They are a very difficult bunch to press back up here. When you look at the Chronicle, of course, the Evening Chronicle up in Tyneside, it's a very difficult paper. He's had to fend off questions from them, and of course, Newcastle fans still believe he's still the last links with Mike Ashley's tenure at the club. I'm sure Steve Bruce, as a Newcastle fan growing up, of course, they weren't too happy when he was first appointed because he was a former Sunderland manager. And that's never go down too well in these parts anyway. But Newcastle are having a good go. St Maximin just loses possession though. For sure. Now here comes Lucas Moura bursting down the right-hand side. The far side of the look, he's got Son and Kane further forward. And he's found Kane here. He's just drifted out to the left of the penalty, just the left-hand side. Chips it towards the right where Son is there. Can he keep it in over by the right-hand byline? Yes, he can. Did really well. The linesman was checking furiously in line with the dead ball line and kept a close eye whether Son kept that in. And he kept it in well, to be fair to the South Korean. 57 and a bit minutes gone. Newcastle 1, Tottenham 3 on the TC Hub. JB Sports, J.Football, Storm FM, and TC Hub 2. We're also on Periscope, Twitter, and Twitch stream. And just to remind you that the Melon streaming app is our streaming partner for the season. Check out their website at www.melonstreamingapp.com. Still no news about that Newcastle fan who was taken to hospital just before the end of the first half for a cardiac arrest. As soon as we get any further developments from our sources, we'll let you know during the broadcast of this game, as the ball is knocked in there by Emerson Rowe towards Son inside the penalty area, and that's Darlow's, takes it very comfortably. Again, the linesman has a look by the dead ball line, sees that Darlow did not carry the ball out, and keeps possession of the ball and throws it out towards the far side, and he finds Matt Ritchie, former Bournemouth player. Ritchie back inside again. Can Newcastle find a way through, score a couple of goals, maybe try and pinch a point from this? The goal difference, incidentally, is taking a bit of a hammering as well, by the way. 3 goals conceded. It's not what you want to see as a supporter, really. And as a Burnley fan, I can sort of testify that situation. Burnley were beaten 2-0 by Norwich. Manchester United were beaten 4-2 yesterday. Won't tell you what happened at Villa Park, because we've got all the alternate commentary of that tomorrow as well. And of course, we've got live coverage of Arsenal against Crystal Palace. Patrick Vieira's returned to Arsenal. Hopefully, we'll have Mark Arneman on commentary for that one. As Ndombele now takes it up for Arsenal's main rivals here, Tottenham, as the shot comes in right-footed and over the crossbar and away into the Leazes end for a goal kick for Newcastle. 59 gone here. And of course, next Saturday, we've got women's international football, the European qualifiers. It's a bit of a derby match, really, between England and Northern Ireland from Wembley. And Nicholas Jones will be commentating on that one for us. And we'll be on the air around about 5 o'clock on Saturday evening with a kick-off at 5:15. Meanwhile, Sean Longstaff has been withdrawn, already booked from the first half. John Joe Shelvey, an experienced Premier League campaign with clubs like Swansea and Liverpool to his name. Been at Newcastle now a fair amount of time, so he knows what this team demand of him now. Still a top-class footballer, even though he doesn't get many starts these days, but he's on now, the bald-headed figure of John Joe Shelvey. Here he is in possession right at the start, but he loses it straight there, and he's not giving a free kick away. The referee wasn't for giving a free kick there. He was hell-bent on not giving a free kick. He wasn't having any of that theatrics from the Tottenham player. 3-1 to Tottenham if you've just joined us, but we had a medical emergency towards the end of the first half. I'm sad to report, because a Newcastle fan over in the East Stand, opposite the TV cameras where we're watching the game from, as we just look at possession, 41 Newcastle, 59 Tottenham. That's possession. 12 attempts Spurs to Newcastle's 4. So Spurs, the rightful leaders at the moment of the game. But we did have a medical emergency, in case you missed it. We had a Newcastle fan who had a cardiac arrest in the East Stand with about 4 minutes of normal time to go in the first half. He was airlifted by ambulance to a local Tyneside hospital. And the last reports we had was he was in a stable condition as he left the ground in that air ambulance and was being airlifted to hospital. And that's where the air ambulance is really coming to their own, really. And we just hope that the person concerned is going to be okay, and we pray for them, person concerned, and their family at this moment in time. But we've still got a game of football to describe, and Newcastle at the moment are not in any position at the moment to be winning a football game. Any news on that supporter, incidentally, we will let you know. But there's been no concrete news as yet of any developments. But if there's any news, we will bring it to you, whether it's me commentating throughout the rest of the second half, which has got half an hour to run, or at the end where Russ will wrap the programme up. We'll be on the air with you until just around 7 o'clock this evening here on the TC Hub. A game that kicked off all the way back at 4:30. And we've been going now for nearly 2 hours. And it's been a long evening. That is a long afternoon and evening here on the Tyne. Here's Reguilón now for Tottenham. And here he goes down the left-hand side once again. Spurs looking for that fourth goal, which would wrap the game up for them. And here's Emerson Royal down the right-hand side. Royal with the cross, hits the defender. Corner is given to Newcastle. Royal wanted a handball. I think he wanted a free kick for hands. So left sarcastically at the linesman's decision or refusal to give a decision against Matt Ritchie there. His arms were down by his side, to be fair, and he was trying to block his space. I think to give a free kick for that would have been kind of really harsh, really, against Matt Ritchie. But nevertheless, Spurs have got a corner, and it's their sixth of the game. Newcastle have just had the one. And it just shows, really, in 95% of this game that Spurs have really been all over Newcastle. Newcastle had that great start for the first 15 minutes, but it's then been Tottenham from here on end as the corner comes in from Son towards Kane. Reguilón takes it on the edge of the area. But the problem for Steve Bruce's side is they haven't been able to get St Maximin or Joe Linton in enough behind the defenders, and that has really caused the problems. And Son Heung-min has had a good game. Kane has had a good game. And so too has Ndombele. And that looks a clear tug there. Referee allowing it to go on. As Aiden now runs down that side, blind alley, and there's a player gone down. They appeal a penalty. I don't think it's going to be a free kick, I think, on the edge of the penalty area to the left-hand side. Or is it a yellow card for diving, I wonder? Well, let's have a look again. It's St Maximin, I think, that's making the run. And there's a little bit of a push. Whether it was enough to win a free kick or not, it wasn't. It was, in fact, Joe Willock, he was appeared to have been pushed down. In fact, Emerson Royal's actually been given a yellow card. I wonder if it was for that challenge. There was no free kick to it, but goal kick was given. I wonder if it was every sarcasm. I'm not sure. Anyway, whichever it wasn't a yellow card for any Newcastle player. It was Emerson Royal who picked up the booking. But anyway, it's Tottenham now in possession with Son Heung-min towards the penalty area. Newcastle penalty area, that is, on the left-hand side. Now it's gone back in field. Højbjerg picks the ball up. Still 3-1 if you've just joined us. And here is Reguilón now down the left-hand side. Pulls the ball back. And John Joe Shelby was there to meet it first on the edge. Shelby, who came on for the frustrated Sean Longstaff in the first half. Of course, his brother Matty now on loan at Aberdeen for the season, playing up in Scotland for Aberdeen. And as they're trying to make inroads at the top of the Scottish Premier, here's Ritchie playing the ball in towards the area. Dyer couldn't take the chance, even though Lloris would have got there. I fancy, but in the end, don't forget, if you see any, I'll just come back to the racism thing in a minute, because we've got a break on here with Harry Kane. Here's Son Heung-min. Oh, he tried to do a nice little step over, which didn't quite come off, but it was a good idea. And Ndombele now just slows it down. We'll see this attack out, and then just tell people about the. In fact, we'll tell listeners we do not condone racism. And of course, we echo the Premier League. We do echo the Premier League's stance on racism, which of course their slogan does exactly what it says on the tin. There is no room for racism, and I think that's absolutely right. And it's a game for all, football, and it's a life for all. Every life matters, whatever race or religion or whatever nationality you are. There is no room in the world for racism in any walk of life as well as football. That's one of the main reasons why players take the knee before every football match these days, certainly in England. And the cause is a good one, as the Staveleys watch on. Quite a glum look on their face at the moment. It was all smiles and happy clapping at the start. Anton Deck a little bit more subdued down below them. But at the moment, it's not going to be Newcastle's day. It wasn't the way Steve Bruce's 1,000th game wanted to be, but obviously there will be a bigger issue with that supporter, of course. Hopefully he will be okay. We haven't had any further developments on that as yet, but we do hear anything, we will let you know. Well, Steve Bruce has played one joker in the pack so far with 67 minutes gone. We're halfway through the second half. Anton Deck looking on there. Just seeing there down below the Stavelys. They've got a bank of monitors in front of them as well, I noticed. So they are watching a television feed of the match as well as keeping one eye on the pitch themselves live as Son Heung-min has possession. We're live on the commentary hub, JDAT Football, JB Sports, Storm FM, and of course TC Hub 2. We're also live on Periscope, Twitter and Twitch. Don't forget our Twitter handle, incidentally, at Commentary Live 1. Commentary Live 1 is our Twitter handle. The yellow card given to Isaac Hayden for a bit of pushing and shoving. Free kick there. It was a foul on Lucas Moura. Yeah, just pushes him there from behind, tugs him over. Stupid, really, from Isaac Hayden. Another rugby style challenge, which again wouldn't go out of place at Twickenham or Merrifield, but here at St James's Park will get him a caution card with 22 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in this game. And still 3-1 to Tottenham. There's been no scoring in the second half thus far. All the goals came in the first half. 2 minutes, 17 minutes, 22 minutes, and 45 plus 4 in stoppage time at the end of the first half. And as a result, Tottenham lead, having been behind by 3-1. Regula now in possession on the left-hand side, goes backwards again. And Ndombele now plays a 1-2. Here he goes again. Kane now taking a much deeper role, and Ndombele nearly getting in behind. He's looking for his second goal of the afternoon, and here's Ndombele again to the byline. It's a corner kick for Tottenham. They're 7 for 8 for the game now. It's 23 minutes past 6. We kicked off again nearly 2 hours ago. And it's hard to believe, really, isn't it? And it's been a long afternoon, stroke evening now, as afternoon now turns to evening here at St James's Park. Corner to be taken by Son Heung-min from the near side, and it goes towards the near post. Header up and down, headed out by Newcastle. The trail of, 3-1. And there's a chance here for Kane inside the area. He goes down. No penalty given. And Kane still stays down, but Tottenham play on. And then Darlow punches it only half away. Son Heung-min. Kane is still on the floor. It looks like, I don't think it is Kane, in fact. I thought it was at first, but Son has put the ball out. It isn't Harry Kane. And I'm just trying to, it's Romero who stayed forward actually from the back, who took the knock, not Harry Kane. We're a bit high up here, and Romero goes in there. Well, he loses his balance, then collides with Kieran Clark accidentally. 20 minutes to go. Everyone's all smiles again. Free kick for goal kick rather for Newcastle, which has been taken short to John Joe Shelby. Substitutions warming up just below. Spurs in command at the moment, 3-1 as Luis takes the ball. I don't know, great pressure inside his own area, just picks the ball up very nonchalantly and very easily and elegantly. Last 10 minutes possession. Spurs with a whopping 85% possession. Newcastle sadly only 15%. They've really gone off the boil since the 15th minute when they were all over Newcastle, when Newcastle were all over Tottenham like bees in a honeypot. But it's been the opposite way around since, and since then it's been all one-way traffic. All that feel-good factor that lasted for something like 17 minutes has now sort of dissolved really into one of anxiousness and disappointment, and of course prayer for the supporter, of course, who went off with a cardiac arrest. But here's a chance now for Callum Wilson now on the right-hand side. He needs support. He's isolated a little bit. He has to go and do it most of it himself. He's got St. Maximin for company. Gets the cross in, deflects, but that will favour Lloris all the way for Tottenham and takes a little bit more pressure off Spurs a little bit there. But Callum Wilson still a guy that doesn't stop chasing lost causes. Sometimes it pays never to give up on lost causes. Still no news about the supporter, incidentally, who was taken to hospital with a suspected cardiac arrest. Here's Matt Ritchie now. Any news on that? Well, we will bring it to you before we're finished in around about half an hour's time. Ball not forward once again. And Ritchie has it on the far side. Newcastle 1, Tottenham Hotspur 3. And St. Maximin now over to the far side. Can Aiden measure a good cross? He can. Almost finding Joe Linton inside the penalty box. Shelby picks the ball up. Has to go backwards, however, to Jamal Lascelles, who now goes back to Carl Darlow. Now Lascelles, the skipper of Newcastle United. We're trailing here at St James's Park by 3-1. Tottenham look like they're going to win back-to-back games, having gone 3 successive defeats, which saw them tumbling down the table. But St Maximin has a goal from just outside the area on the left-hand side and hits it right-footed into the Gallagate for a goal kick for Tottenham with 73 minutes of the game elapsed. Just to remind you that we will have a double dose of football tomorrow, both delayed and live on the TCO. Tomorrow we'll have delayed commentary from the game I covered at Villa Park yesterday, and what I will say, it was a thriller at the Villa. Terrific finish to that game. We got the Midlands derby between Villa and Wolves. That will be played out tomorrow. And then later that night, we'll have live coverage, live alternate commentary coverage of Patrick Vieira's return to Arsenal as he takes his Palace side to the Emirates. Join Mike Arneman at around about 10 to 8 with an 8 o'clock kickoff. And then next Saturday, hopefully we might have some Champions League football in midweek as well for you to enjoy. But we can also confirm that next week we'll have England women against Northern Ireland women at 5 o'clock. Nicholas Jones will be your fox in the box for that one on all TCO platforms. Here in the Premier League with me, JB John Stuttard, it's 3-1 to Tottenham. All the goals coming in the first half. But the game has been marred. I'm sad. The game has been overshadowed in a way due to a supporter receiving defibrillator help as Kane goes into the penalty area. Kane running out there, and a corner has been given. That will be the 9th one for Tottenham. Just going back, there was a fan, if you haven't heard already, there was a supporter that was lifted to hospital after he or she received or had a cardiac arrest towards the end of the first half, as we see Murphy coming on for Newcastle. They have been airlifted to hospital. They're in a stable condition, I'm told. We have had no further news throughout the second half, which has got a quarter of an hour to go. Fraser and Murphy about to come on for Newcastle. But any development on that supporter, if we get anything before 7 o'clock, we will let you know. Quarter of an hour left to go here at St James's Park. 3-1 Spurs. Newcastle preparing a couple of changes. The corner came in, and it's out for another corner. And I make that now 10 now for Tottenham, as Lascelles heads that one out. And that's coming off the top of my head. With no statistics flashed up on my monitor yet for to be fruition. I'm totting them up. I'm estimating. These are purely JB estimations at the moment. Anyway, corner kick comes in from Son Heung-min into the penalty area. It goes again. A header won there by Newcastle, and it's back into the penalty area from Spurs, and knocked out for a throw-in for Newcastle midway inside their own half. 3-1 Tottenham lead. Goals from Ndombele, Kane and Son, and Callum Wilson scoring for Newcastle. And it's the aforementioned Callum Wilson who's making way. Ryan Fraser, his former colleague at Bournemouth, will now come on. Scottish international, of course. We're also going to see a second change, as I say. Off comes Joe Willock, and Jacob Murphy will now come on. So Newcastle have used their 3 substitutes. Spurs have still yet to use one, and their substitutes bench reads Golini, Sanchez, Tangana, Davis, Winks, Lo Celso, Ali, Gill, and Bergwijn. But they don't. But there's no need for them at the moment, and Tottenham have no need to be worrying at the moment. But it's Newcastle are bringing on the fresh legs at the moment, but they just aren't doing much at the moment with the personnel. It's going to be a tough old thing when the new hierarchies. When Amanda Staveley came into the club last week, she said there was no instant fixes as Fraser gets down that blind alley and wins his team a throw-in, or rather Manquillo does. So 13 minutes to play. Can Newcastle launch a stirring comeback here at St James's? Son comes out with the ball, and then Ndombele gets back, and then he's hurt himself and got the ball back straight away. Ndombele gets it out from under a cul-de-sac, and then the ball then hooked back. Tottenham making heavy weather of clearing it. The cleared it they have. Kane is there. Touch back. There's a foul there by Shelvey. Free kick for Tottenham. Yellow card, I think, has been brandished. It has. Mr. Mariner now starting to start brandishing the yellow cards, and they're tossing up now for both sides as we now go into the final 12 minutes plus stoppage time. No news yet on that supporter who suffered a cardiac arrest earlier on in the first half. But any developments before we leave here, we will bring them to you on the TCR live commentary, alternate commentary coverage. Remember, we've got Arsenal tomorrow live. Yesterday's match between Villa and Wolves to come earlier tomorrow afternoon with myself in the com box, and I was privileged to be there. Other results: Watford were hit for 5 against Liverpool, and here's Brigou now coming forward over to the far side. Here's Emerson Royal. Royal's crossed into the area. Kane was lurking, and it's been turned away once again. Ball back again with Tottenham. They appeal a handball. Referee thought about it, but doesn't give it. There was an appeal there from a Tottenham player for a penalty, but Tottenham are in possession. They will probably check it on VAR anyway when the ball is out of play. They can't do anything until the ball goes out of play, of course. Here's Ndombele to Regulin. Regulin to Son. Son now. Left-hand side. Son looks to shoot then for a second or two. Almost did. And Ndombele will shoot, and it's over the top. Now, will they go back? Lucas Leiva will shoot, and it's over the top. Now, was this a penalty potentially against Matt Ritchie? It's Højbjerg's cross. Well, his arm's out. I wonder if VAR will intervene here and tell Mr. Mariner to go and have a look. And Mr. Mariner just stopping things at the moment. And they're going to consult, I'm sure of it. The game has stopped. This is where we have to estimate whether this is a VAR decision or not. And he is checking, I believe, I'm told. And there is a penalty check at the moment. And I think the check has been complete and a goal kick. Now, just to bring you some news, I've got some news from Ryan Francis, one of our commentators at the moment. Latest news is that the fan who suffered a cardiac arrest, this is from the NHS up in Tyne and Weir, by the way, the fan who suffered a cardiac arrest in the 40th minute of this game tonight was taken to the Freeman Hospital's cardiothoracic centre and is now stable and alert. Now, that is excellent news. I am pleased to report, and hopefully the fan concerned will have a swift and very swift and a very full recovery, and we wish him and his family all the best. That is excellent news and a relief to everybody now, I'm sure. What great news that is there. Some great news on really what's been a difficult afternoon for Newcastle on the field. Ball shot comes in there, appeal handball, I think, or there was a half appeal for a handball. It's a corner anyway. Just to let you know that the Newcastle fan is alert, who had that cardiac arrest at the end of the first half, is stable, is in a stable condition, and is very much alert. That is excellent news. That was not a handball, by the way. That came off Dyer's head, and his arms were down behind his back. So a Newcastle corner it is. Can Ritchie produce a corner? This is only their second corner in the entire game. 81 gone. Can Newcastle make it a bit of a grandstand finish now? Ball into the penalty area, back towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Fraser is there. Touch back again. Can Newcastle find a way through? Shot comes in, deflects, and it's out for a throw for Newcastle. Shelby will get there and take it. We'll throw it to Murphy. Murphy now, right-hand side. Can he find a little bit of space to maybe dig out across? He's watched by 2 Tottenham defenders. Uses Shelby. He will cross from the right, but he's missed. He's sliced his cross rather badly, and now here could be problems because Son is on his way now, and Regulin is through, and Shelby's there, and he's brought him down, and this could be trouble for Newcastle and for John Joe Shelby. Yellow card for him, and it's going to be, I think, a second yellow, and he's going to be off because he was already booked. And Newcastle's day is going from bad to worse. John Joe Shelby, who came on as a substitute not 20 minutes ago, has been shown a red card for 2 bookable offences. I suppose, with the way Regulin was running through, he had to bring his man down. And Shelby accepts his decision with good grace and walks down head bowed in disgrace. And what a sad, sad way for Steve Bruce's 1000th game to possibly end in this way. And everything that was all smiles, and the atmosphere was booming after the takeover had been completed. Well, it's all going horribly wrong now. Steve Bruce's side, 2 goals down and a man down. And no one could argue with that. I'm afraid it was the correct decision. Shelby had already been booked, and it was a silly challenge that got him booked in the first place. And then, I suppose, he had to do what any professional would do, hack down the man when he's clean, bearing down on the goalkeeper and the goals. But it's a free kick, and Harry Kane is going to take it now for Spurs, and now we're in a luxurious position now. 2 goals up and a man up. Can Kane put the icing on the cherry on the cake? It's just to the left of the centre. It's about 23, 24 yards from goal. It's a 4-man Newcastle wall. Kane steps up, hits it right-footed, deflects. And it deflects back to Kane, who took the free kick. The wall did its job, but it's Ndombele, and ball is lost again. And the 10 men trying to come out. They got a free kick anyway. Well, Newcastle fans now leaving in their droves. Well, the Saudi Arabian era at Newcastle is not started well. There will be questions asked of Steve Bruce, there's no doubt about it, but that's for another time, really, in another place, considering what we've seen. And you know, the positive from the football club's point of view is that the supporter, I'll just reiterate the news that the supporter is now in a stable condition. And yeah, Shelby came on 60th minute. And so it was something like 23 minutes he was on the field for. And well, it was certainly a cameo. With 5 minutes to go now, Steve Bruce, now is not the time and the place to talk about his future, but tomorrow I'm sure people like Talk Sport and Sky Sports News will be all over it like a rash again. Will he be around for the next game next week? Who knows? But one thing is for certain, it was a dream start for them. They were in front within 2 minutes, and then it all went horribly wrong on the field.
We will get JB back in a second. We just lost connection to him just there. We have got him back right now, so we will fetch him back in. Back over to you, JB.
Thanks again, Ross. Sorry about that. We just lost the connection there, but we are back live with you now. And it's 3-1 still to Tottenham. And yes, I've still got to think of a player of the match. I was actually talking through with my producer at that precise moment about the man of the match, and we will pick one in a couple of minutes' time. And I've got a few players in mind. Son definitely being one. He's had a good game. Harry Kane has looked sharp again. Looks more like the Kane we all know and love, I suppose. Even if he didn't perform as well as he would have liked for England on Wednesday. I suppose Callum Wilson could be a candidate for Newcastle, but I think you've got to give the honours to Tottenham. I think Ndombele's had a good game as well. He scored a great goal. But I'm going to give it, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give it to Harry Kane. I think he's had a good game. He's looked more himself, he looked more at home. And Harry Kane, in my opinion, will be player of the match. And, well, the performance itself was topped off by a beautiful lob over Darlow to make it 2-1. Yes, it needed a bit of a check from VAR, but does that really matter? Not really. The lob was just a work of art, a piece of pure genius. And one has to say that really turned the match in Tottenham's favour at that point. So Harry Kane is going to be our player of the match in association with the commentary services. But the big news is, and I think it's the best news away from the actual game itself, that the Newcastle fan is in a stable and alert condition. And that is looking very, very promising. Let's hope he gets out the woods, pulls away from danger, and we all wish him, and I speak on everyone at the TC Hub, that he has a full and speedy recovery. And hopefully he'll be back supporting his beloved he or she will be back supporting their beloved Newcastle very, very soon. So we wish them the best of, we wish them a very speedy recovery and the greatest of health. You're all in. So for that supporter, you're all in our thoughts here at the TC Hub and everywhere else. And I think that's the most important thing that we take out of today, that sometimes football can be put into perspective as when you see a medical emergency such as this happening today, as Joelinton wins a free kick. But now maybe it's not the time or the place to talk about Steve Bruce's future. But there will be questions asked in the next couple of days. The pressure will be on him. Will the new owners give him that dreaded vote of confidence? We'll soon find out in the next couple of days. Anyway, Newcastle have a free kick. Oh, it's an own goal! It's been turned into his own net by Eric Dyer. So Spurs have conceded another one, and the 10 men of Newcastle have pulled it back to 3-2. So a little bit of hope has crept back into Newcastle's hearts. Eric Dyer has put through his own net from a free kick from the right-hand side. And all of a sudden, the game, there was no danger at all. It wasn't exactly a good free kick. And Dyer inexplicably has headed up past his own goal. In fact, it's come off his knee and then past Lloris. It's actually quite a calamitous and sort of a funny own goal, if you like. Anyway, it's 3-2. Newcastle have half a chance of maybe snatching a point out of this. It's been a terrific game regardless. But of course, the welfare of the supporter that was stricken and airlifted to hospital is, of course, paramount above anything else. But away from that, we've been really entertained here this afternoon as well, even though we've had a little bit of a worry and an emergency. Anyway, we played in 90 minutes. Harry Kane is our player of the match, just to remind you. That's sponsored by Commentary Services. We've got 4 added minutes, and the 10 men of Newcastle have just made it a little bit of a grandstand finish here. And it's through Tottenham's own doing. So can Matt Ritchie and co find a way through? This is Joelinton. Takes it on the chest, goes past one man. Then he's taken out by another, but not, according to the referee, did look a foul to me, I must admit. Here's Lucas Moura now on the right-hand side for Tottenham Hotspur. Plays a low cross in there towards Harry Kane, our player of the match, but he's well defended there by the 10 men of Newcastle. At least they're having a go. But there's still lots of empty seats at St James's Park. One or two of them are sealing off. Here's Reguilon now for Spurs. We've played 1 of the 4 minutes. Have Newcastle got any more spirit left in them? From Norwich and Burnley's point of view, this is actually a very good result. Here's Tottenham again. And that's, of course, if it stays that way, free kick to Tottenham on halfway. And it's a foul on Højbjerg, who's holding his left ankle. We've played 90 seconds of the 4 added at the end. It's been a long day, but hopefully the supporter will pull through. It looks a good chance that might be the case, I'm pleased to say. And even if Newcastle are having a bad day on it, let's just hope that supporter pulls through and they're able to support their beloved Newcastle again in the future. Here's Ndombele now for Spurs, who still will be increasing favourites to get all 3 points today, but they've made it difficult for themselves towards the end here with that calamitous own goal scored by Eric Dyer, putting through his own net under no great pressure, I must add, as well. But on the field, it's been very good entertainment. And 5 goals, we can't grumble at that as a spectacle. Here's Song Young-min now down the left-hand channel. Just decides to trot towards the corners, just slow the pace down. And Newcastle now just passing the ball about, not worrying about the next pass. Just, I suppose when you're 3-2 up, you can afford to do this, but against 10 men, it's a luxurious position to be in at this moment in time. Of course, John Joe Shelby was sent off for 2 yellow cards, free kick to Tottenham, sorry. Yellow card again. The yellow cards now starting to mount up. Of course, count of how many yellow cards we've been brandished. It's another yellow here. Just went through the back there. It was Joe Linton who was the culprit, so he's booked. We're now into the final minute of the 4. And again, our broadcast that started off over nearly 2.5 hours ago is going to, well, my commentary is finally going to end some 2.5 hours after I started. It's been a long old shift. But it's a game I'll never forget in a hurry for all sorts of different reasons. Here's Joe Linton again for Newcastle. Are we going to see a grandstand finish? Richie now, but Richie took out his man. Romero was utterly taken out, clattered there by Matt Ritchie, and he could be in some trouble here, Matt Ritchie. The Newcastle fans on the far side trying to make out as if Romero had play acted. I don't think there was any play acting whatsoever. Ritchie did take his man. Newcastle now ending with quite a lot of indiscipline, I'm sad to say. It's been a frustrating end to Steve Bruce's 1,000th game in charge. That's definitely, well, if it's not a bookable offence, then I think he's very lucky there to get away with that, Matt Ritchie, to be quite honest with you. We've played 30 seconds over the 4 at the end. And surely now, the best thing for Mr. Mariner at this stage is to end it, and that's exactly what he's done. He's bolted for the full time. And Steve Bruce's 1,000th game as a manager ends in a sad 3-2 defeat. It all started so well for them. Callum Wilson gave them the lead on 3 minutes. But then Ndombele with a super goal, levelled it on 17. And then Harry Kane with a lovely lob, which had to be checked again for, it was initially given for offside. It's a goal of pure genius, actually, which was given on VAR advice because Manquillo was playing him onside on the far side. That made it 2-1. Then we had that sad interruption for the supporter who was taken to hospital and he suffered a cardiac arrest. We are pleased to support he's in a stable and alert condition. And then Son scored in first half stoppage time after they come back out for the restart. And then Newcastle were down to 10 men when Shelby came on after 60 minutes, was sent off after about 82 minutes for 2 yellow cards. And then Eric Dyer pulling one back towards the end to make it a little bit of a grandstand finish, but then by then it was too little, too late. Frustrating day for Alan St. Maximin. Happy one for our player of the match, Harry Kane. He gets our award, sponsored by Commentary Services. Spurs, 2 wins from their last 2, having had 3 previous defeats, especially that one when we saw them last at Arsenal when they were beaten to a pulp by 3-1. But the recovery under Nuno Santo is on course again for Tottenham, and the pressure will be certainly off his shoulders a bit more after today. For Steve Bruce, well, the speculation will continue tomorrow about his future. Tonight is probably not the time or the place right now to discuss his future, considering other events off the field happened today. But it's all smiles for Tottenham, They take 3 points back from Tyneside to London. Winners today in a very action-packed match here at St James's by 3-2. Here's Russ Vernon.
Thank you very much there to JB for brilliant commentary throughout the game between Newcastle and Tottenham. The win for Tottenham takes them up to 5th and above Manchester United, Everton, West Ham, Brentford, and Wolves as well. Wolves down to 10th, Brentford in 9th, Everton 8th, West Ham in 7th after their win over Everton earlier. Manchester United are currently 6th after that result. Tottenham now level on points with Brighton, 2 behind Man City, 3 behind Liverpool, and 4 behind the league leaders Chelsea. In the other end of the table, which is where is Newcastle United. They're in 19th place, just below Burnley, both on 3 points. Norwich at the bottom on 2 points. Then is Leeds just outside the relegation zone on 6. Watford are in 16th on 7. Southampton are in 15th on 7. Palace in 14th in 7. Can go level on points with Arsenal with a win tomorrow, and level on points with Aston Villa as well on 10 points. Arsenal and Villa are 13th and 12th respectively. Leicester sit 11th on 11 points as well. A big thanks to the people that have tuned in today, with Paul James, who says thanks to JB for great commentary. Trevor Sports, our good friend over there, Madam JB's good friend over there, and a friend of the channel as well, says nice work JB as well. Mike Orneman says he can confirm that he'll be covering Arsenal against Crystal Palace for us all tomorrow as well. Great stuff from earlier from Kevin Benson as well, and thank you for getting in touch throughout the programme. If you have enjoyed the coverage today, thank you very much for tuning in. Let's just remind you of the other scores from the matches that took place today. As I mentioned, Everton lost 1-0 to West Ham United. It finished 3-0 to Swansea against Cardiff in the Championship. In the Scottish Women's Premier League Division 1, Celtic 2, Spartans 2, Hibernian 1, Aberdeen 0, Party Thistle 2, Hamilton Academical 2, Motherwell 2, Arts 0, Glasgow City 1, Rangers 1. In La Liga, Vallecano beat Elche by 2-1, while Celta Vigo lost 1-0 to Sevilla. Villarreal and Osasuna currently drawing 1 apiece. Barcelona take on Valencia later on this evening. In the Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen 1, Bayern Munich 5, and FC Augsburg 1. Arminia Bielefeld 1. In Italian Serie A, Cagliari 3, Sampdoria 1, Empoli 1, Atalanta 4, Genoa 2, Sassuolo 2, Udinese 1, Bologna 1, Napoli lead Torino by 1-0. That's coming up towards the end of that match. Right now, just got into 6 minutes of stoppage time, where we've had one of those 6. Napoli still lead by 1-0. Juventus take on Roma 8:15. In French League O, it finished Troyes 1, Nice 0, Bordeaux 1, Brest 1, Reims 1, Metz 0, Rennes 3, Strasbourg 5, St Etienne 1, Montpellier 1, Lens 0. Austrian Bundesliga, Lask 0, AZ Pellets 1, WS Troll 2, TSV Egger Glass Artenberg 2, Sturm Graz 1, Gutrek Reed 0 as well. Other scores in just some selected divisions in the match, which is a derby game, which has been taking place in the MLS. Current score is New York Red Bulls 1, New York City 0. Earlier on in the early hours of this morning, finished Houston Dynamo 2, Seattle Sounders 1, Austin 0, Minnesota United 1, Real Salt Lake 3, Colorado Rapids 1, LA Galaxy 2, Poland Timbers one is also results there. Big thanks to everyone that's tuned in today, whether you've listened to us live or whether you're listening back on delay as well. Big thank you to Ryan Francis for some updates throughout on the fan as well. On behalf of myself, JB, and the team here in the commentary hub, we hope the Newcastle fan has a speedy recovery and gets well soon. And we're glad to report that he is that they are in a stable condition. 2 hours straight on air. We didn't expect to be on air that long, but from the team here and the commentary hub, as the fans have just left, we're now just leaving as well. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you all again real soon. From all of the team here,